Welcome to episode 18 of Draw a Circle. I'm Mike, also Funisher among the community and things. And we're being joined right now with Ryan Sheldon Art, is the username and nickname. He's also known as Ryan Sheldon, so that helps too, you know. How's your week?
Oh, you know. Oh, sorry.
Oh, heavens, double audioed.
Yeah, now we got it going.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll just...
My feed wasn't going.
Show's canceled. It's over.
Oh, sorry. It's Trump's America now.
making it great. Making the podcast great.
Yes. Oh, God.
Again. Oh, my.
To everybody that is outside of America, please don't kill us when we into the evil villains.
I should also mention, speaking of making America great, I don't have a transition, but
Smooth.
Just want to give a shout out that Sarah, a Gamer Draws, is in the chat, but she is under the weather, so not in the episode. So everyone needs to send her your favorite Get Well Soon cartoons, and so she can feel better and be back next week. And also the friend that got all of her friends sick needs a punch in their his or her respective dinguses.
There'll be a bunch of meaty. Shout out to Meaty Elbow. He messaged me after he saw my piece I did of you, and he's like, "Let's get everybody on the podcast to do a portrait of Mike and Sarah." So I tried. I'm sure I forgot a bunch of people, but I tried to message everybody I could think of and asked them to do portraits of you guys. So
yeah, it was like
showing up throughout the podcast if they haven't posted them already.
I was pretty stoked, man. I was I jumped in on the Twitter there, and yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna just do I should just do really scathing critiques of them, but they should all just be me, just like, I don't look like that.
Wrong. Sad. Yeah, I'm working on this. I probably can't get a very good. The lighting will probably be terrible, but working on this one of Sarah right now, which you and Sarah both are just like every artist I know. You have like 2 pictures of yourself on your social media, so it was very hard to actually find any pictures of either one of you, really.
We don't make it easy.
Nor should you.
Sarah says, under the weather, quotation marks, alternative facts, currently dying.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're going to need some really good cartoons then. And some really good soup. I feel like I have to sneeze, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. Meaty Elbow says, don't forget the ninja gloves, Ryan Sheldon.
I don't have ninja gloves like Sarah.
I didn't know that there was a whole ninja glove thing. Oh, right. Sarah's ninja gloves. I got confused. I didn't think about them being actually ninja gloves. Because she was so sneaky with them, it just never occurred to me.
Oh, stupid gaijin.
The what?
It said stupid gaijin.
Oh.
It's like... yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know what that was a reference to.
It's Japanese for white person.
Oh.
You ever see those memes where they're like, "Oh, glorious Nippon steel, weak stupid gaijin"?
Nah.
That's the voice I read them in. So I guess we're just finding out I'm a terrible racist. Yeah, see, Meaty's got it. Oh, you think you see everything so good with your round eyes? Oh yeah, so it'll probably be boring watching me since I don't have a webcam, guys.
Right, you're gonna be just seeing Ryan's face a lot and him holding up the drawing a lot. Yes. I also heard a rooster in the background a little bit.
Oh yeah, there's like 3 roosters at my house. 2 of them are little fuzzy bantams, like little tiny chickens, and one's like a regular. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Mediolo says, hey, don't draw me into this overt racism. Yeah, we're off to a good start. Because not only that, but then any minute they might start ripping windows out of my building. So let's just say if it all gets into that place, we're just going to go into music and just draw live and chat mode. Because...
did we have topics to talk about this week?
I don't even know anymore. You know, the funny thing no, we do. I mean, I wanted, there was some topics in the actually in the Artist Lounge subreddit that I wanted to that I thought were kind of fun topics. And so yeah, we were definitely going to go into those. And I can't remember what else I was going to say. I'm pretty scatterbrained. I just realized like today that I didn't upload last week's episode. I did the thing where I've done this before, where I'll put it in Premiere and then I'll render it, which takes hours, and then it's done rendering, and then I just kind of like, there, I did it, and then I forget like the whole YouTube step of things, and then it's like, you know, I think I tell myself, all right, I'll upload to YouTube in the morning or whatever, and then I'm a dingus. So I'm gonna have to upload that one and this one ASAP, and I gotta really be on top of that better.
The Art Knight says, "Damn it! Now everyone has finished drawings except for me." Yeah, that's okay. We needed some way to like tell everybody without like alerting Mike and Sarah. So I just tried to. Shmooney helped out too. I'm sure he'll be showing up later in the podcast. But Shmooney messaged some people too. But so I tried to message everybody I could think of. I'm sure I forgot people. So just know that if I didn't message you, it wasn't because I hate you or something. I just forgot.
I'm gonna just tell everyone you forgot because you hate them.
No, he's a bigot. I did want to talk about, like, I think I sent you a message, because I know a lot of people are beginners, but like this blew my mind in college because I know before I took any painting classes, nobody taught me how to paint, but a lot of people hold their brushes up by the ferrule when they're doing work, and like you want to, especially when you start out, you basically want to stand at arm's length from your canvas and hold your brush by the end, and it'll like, that's how you get like real nice gesture stuff. It completely changed the way I painted. And like obviously as you move into detail you can choke up on the brush, but if you hold your brush at the end here, your oil and acrylic brushes, that'll help a lot. And I do have some watercolor brushes, like some short-handled ones.
Right.
But I usually use like an acrylic brush for watercolors just because I like the way they feel. But yeah, no, hopefully that'll help people. And when you're doing your gesture drawings too, like when I'm doing my gesture drawings, I hold my pencil like this, you know, so you can use your whole arm.
Right.
And then as you move into detail, you can hold it. But definitely, like, if you draw it, like, it'll help a lot. I promise. Sarah says, I always see proper artists paint like that, but it blows my mind. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You just got to learn.
Yeah, you just got to follow your dreams and your heart and reach for the stars. And then you'll be fine. It will always lead you in the right direction. Just kidding.
Art Knight says, anyone here who uses Photoshop know where the friggin' custom shapes are located?
Custom shapes. I am not the person to ask that, but there are lots of people in the chat that will know, and then we'll read it out loud, so then everyone can know.
Read it out in various accents.
Yes, exactly.
If you press U, Art Knight, that'll take you to your tool, or it'll be over like wherever all your main toolbar is, like with your brush panel and all that stuff, like your rectangle tool. Like if you click on that, it should bring up your little menu, and custom shape tool is at the bottom of that.
Ken is saying in the chat, a hotkey for shapes is U.
Yes, the U. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. All right, I need to.
Yeah, Meaty Elbow says brushstroke from the shoulder first. Yeah, that's right.
It's a good way to do it, man. The further along the joints that you use, you know, if you're drawing with your fingers, things will curve quickly. Wrist larger, elbow, arm. I don't know, when I draw straight lines, I'll actually lean forward on my desk, and then I'll just like lean back at the waist, and I'll keep my whole upper body still, and then that will I can draw pretty straight lines like that.
I'm putting a link in the chat now. There's like these images of Matisse drawing with just this like a 10-foot stick, and he's like standing, like, it's great. He's the best. I love Matisse. These wild beasts. I've been watching a bunch of Critical Role.
What's Critical Role?
It's a bunch of voice actors playing D&D.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like it's so awesome. Like I want now. It's like I've never played D&D before, just because like my mom was also kind of against it. Like I wanted to play Shadowrun when I was a kid. So if anybody knows what those pen and paper RPGs is, they probably know what Shadowrun is. But like I never really got into it. But I've been watching Critical Role, and it's like it looks like so much fun. So I'm trying to get a campaign together.
I had some friends that were doing some D&D campaigns, and apparently it was they were getting pretty big, where there was like a waiting list of people that wanted to get in on it as it was continuing.
Right.
I tried playing D&D twice, and I think I ruined the game for everyone both times, just because I was just so... It was just weird for me when they're like, someone says, you're a character, and then they're like, oh, and now you've run into this character, the other person in the room, and now you talk to them. And I was like, all right, cool. So I want to, and they're like, no, you have to like talk to them in character. And I was like, oh, this is going to get awkward really fast.
I think it's more fun if the people do voices, but I also don't think it's like you have to, but it's like,
yeah, but it clearly ruins the game if you don't.
Watching like voice actors do it. It's like they're so like one guy is trying to remember his name, but he's a Goliath barbarian. So he talks like this. His name's Strongjaw. It's like it's so much fun to like watch him. It's like it really makes me want to do voice acting too. Like it looks like a lot of fun.
It was the only thing that happened in mine is we got into a couple battles, and I was starting to make a necklace out of bugbear penises because I would slaughter them, and then I would cut off their genitals and make a necklace.
And I think a good DM will like let their players like go off into little weird stuff like that, because it shows that they're immersed in the game.
Wait, you mean to tell me that that's a weird thing to do?
It's like, man, if anybody, it's like it's a very particular podcast, and they are like 3 hours long. But I love watching it because it's like you don't actually have to watch the video, so it's like I put it on and just draw on stuff because you can just listen to them play D&D, and with all the voices and everything, it's amazing.
Right.
Sarah says King of Photoshop. Yes, that's right.
He is the king of Photoshop. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I was telling you about that iron oxide, that black iron oxide. I'm trying to decide if I want to use my litho coal on this drawing of Sarah, because I think if I try it, since I haven't used it in forever, it'll probably just come out like terrible.
Let's see here.
Art Knight says, wait, I was paying attention to other stuff. How come they're suddenly talking about D&D? Because
you never know, man. You never know where it will go. I don't know. I wonder if I I think one of the hardest parts for me is it just took so long to like build the character and like get ready to play that by the time the game was starting, it was like I don't care anymore. What I'm trying to say is I really ruin a lot of D&D fun. I'm not a good person to have around for D&D night.
That's what it's
pretty much. I think it's like I think what gets me about those games is just the length of time to prepare. Like even the way I game when I'm playing PC games or something, I tend to only play for like 45 minutes and then I'm kind of done. So it's hard to spend 5.5 hours like preparing for a game.
Oh, not for me, man. That's part of the reason too. I think like I got into art is because I could focus on stuff for so long,
Right.
Because I'll like just sit there, just zone out on stuff, and then like somebody will knock on my door to my room. Like sometimes my buddy Josh stops by and he'll just like scare the shit out of me. I'll just be like, God! Just get like lost in it.
Just leans over your shoulder. Hey!
Yeah. Meaty says, Traveler pen and paper RPG, your character can die during character creation. What?
How would that happen?
Doesn't sound fun at all.
So it's like you forget to put a brain in your guy and he just collapses?
Yeah, Sarah, what version? Are you doing 5th edition, Sarah? Sarah's talking about the D&D in chat. She says it's really great if you play with people who know what they're doing because they can really help speed stuff up and allow you a lot of freedom. Yeah, and that's like, if Critical Role, they've been filming it for like 2 or 3 years, but their campaign was going on for like 2 years before that. So it's like, yeah, that's like the characters are all really well developed and like, yeah, it's awesome.
That could be it, I suppose.
Sarah says she's playing 13th Age. I don't know what that one is. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to D&D. I know it's is it Pathfinder and D&D are about the only variations of D&D I'm from the regular D&D. It looks like fun though. I totally want to like start a campaign like online, or hopefully I can get some of my friends here together in town.
Yeah. You could probably, I mean, yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that, yeah, you could probably find, like, community people that do it online through...
Yeah, well, there's, like,
Twitch or whatever.
Yeah, there's, like, Roll20 and sites like that. But it's like, I think it'd be more fun. I think it's more fun, if you're face-to-face, but...
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing an online campaign, either. So I downloaded, there's an online D&D called Neverwinter that's free if you have PlayStation 4. So... What are you shitting about?
Oh, I left some paper towel texture into my thingamajig. It's alright, everything's fine, it's under control.
Sarah says she's a tiefling called Loki with a pet blobby shape shifting dog called Turnip. And Meaty says he read the dog's name as Trump.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, God, he's so terrible. Just drink your coffee.
Everything's gonna be fine, That's why I'm, drawing puppies right now. I'm not above dogs playing poker, man. Sometimes you need dogs playing poker, piece of art, just to get on with life. Oh, I should mention that this was a post. This is a drawing that was from a post from like 2 weeks ago by Lydia, because it's spelled out phonetically in a way, and they wanted a picture of their dogs in the style of the painting of American Gothic, which I could bring up, but I can also show the photos.
I think we all know the photos.
We all know it. American Gothic, old farmer, right? And then Amy Schumer playing the other farmer. So there you go. We all know the painting.
Nice. Sarah's trying to find her sketch of her D&D character. Ken says there's a super beginner module of D&D called Treasure Hunt. It starts everyone at level 0 and you figure out your class at the end of it. That sounds fun. Like, I don't know. I think I kind of want to play a bard, I think, maybe. But I don't know.
What's a bard do?
Oh, that's the best part about bards. You can be anything, basically.
Isn't a bard the person who, like, plays music and all those kind of things? Or am I confusing someone else?
Like... Yeah, but you can also have, like, a bard that's a fighter or a bard that's, like, a wizard. And, like, basically, especially the earlier editions, by the time you have to change classes several times to get to a bard in the earlier edition. So by the time you're, like, a bard level 1, you're just, like, really super powerful. Sarah says Mike would def be a bard.
Is there a way, like, if I played D&D, I could just be... I don't have to play as any characters that actually fight or anything. Like, I'm just townspeople and stuff. I just want to be, like, all the extras.
Be a support character.
I literally, like, that actor that plays Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day, Needle-Nosed Ned, who's in, like, every movie. I want to be that guy. I want to be the supporting actor. You're like, there's that guy again. I want to be him in D&D. I think that would be fun, because I just really didn't like doing the battles. I'm like, I hate this.
In Critical Role, there's a guy, he plays a bard gnome, and he barely ever gets in fights. He just, like, thrusts his hips at other people and sings really funny songs.
Okay.
So awesome.
Well, you see, that's sounding pretty good to me right there.
The Art Knight says Mike's dream is being an NPC.
I want to be the NPC. Every time I play, so when I play a game that's, like, especially open world games, I remember when I was younger, I first got Daggerfall. I didn't even do, like, the first mission. I pretty much went straight to, like, trying to jump from roof to roof of building and shooting arrows at guards, and just, like, that's fun for me when I play that kind of stuff. So I think I want that equivalent in... I think what it would be is it would be some side story, and everyone would wonder, is Mike eventually going to interact with any characters, or is it always going to be some side story about a guy, like, trying to jump off a roof onto a bench or something?
See, it already sounds like you're already starting to like D&D already.
Well, it could be. And also I'm realizing if I was that, I wouldn't really need to do any character creation, because they could just pull me in when necessary, and then the rest of the time I could just hang out.
I think you'd have to do a voice, though.
Yeah, I would do voices then. I could do... Well, I mean, I'm terrible at doing voices, but I'd be a character.
Mostly on Critical Role, they do sort of English type accents.
See, I can't do that kind of stuff. You're gonna be stuck with just my
yeah,
voice.
Yeah. Oh, see, actually, I was listening to a podcast with the guy that played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones.
All
Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was talking to Chris on the Nerdist podcast. And he was saying like the key for any accent is like the terrain of that country. So for like English in England, there's like a lot of hills and valleys. So if you put like just put a lot of ups and downs in that, sort of put that little movement in there. That's sort of the key he feels to doing English. I can't do a Scottish accent worth shit though, or Irish.
I can't do any accents, except accidentally fall into pirate mode anytime I try to do an accent.
Yeah, Meaty says Mike needs to try out test accents for the rest of the podcast.
No, we're not going to do that.
Come on now.
It'd be the thing we would laugh at one voice,
Mike.
and then everyone would be like, I can't listen to this anymore, and then we'd lose all the viewers.
No.
As I'm, foghorn leghorning. I can't even say the stupid bird's name. Jesus Christ. Foghorn leghorn.
But maybe that could be your character's accent.
I say.
Oh, well, I say. Let's see. Sarah said the last session they played 3-4 hours of gameplay, didn't have a single fight because we stealthed the whole thing. Yeah. Did you get any natural 20s? What else do we have here? Custom shapes or vector, right, is what Art Knight is asking. I'm not sure. Yeah, Ken is helping out there too. No, I think I like Grog's accent the best on there. It's very easy to do as well. And you just sort of talk like an idiot.
That's what I sound like.
No, everyone was like, Ryan, you sound exactly the same.
I do.
Are you doing a voice right now?
Puppy farmers tilling the soil.
The last Critical Role I was watching, they got into like this ridiculous fight, and like they were in like a sort of like cavern tunnel situation, and so their Goliath barbarian like broke through the ceiling.
Yeah.
But they were like 50 feet in the air, and he somehow like had enough of a save to like land gracefully. But their cleric fell through the same hole, and she just like landed in a pile of her plate armor, basically. Like, oh man, it's so much fun to watch them. I think Ken mentioned like a podcast, I think too earlier, Adventure Zone.
Didn't Dan Harmon have a show where like actors
Harmon
or
Quest.
something do a thing like
Harmon Quest.
Yeah.
Although on that they don't like their DM on that rolls all their dice for them, I guess, which is
Well, what do they do then?
They just sit there and tell him what they want to do.
Oh.
Like usually, like that's what you do, but you roll your own dice. But yeah, I don't know Harmon Quest is fun, but I like Critical Role because it's a long campaign. Like I said, I think they're up to like episode 82, and they're all like 3 or 4 hours long. So I guess I should move on to Ink here.
Wait, let me switch screens. Hold up. Boop 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 boop.
And also, I'm extra shaky because I drank like 3 cups of coffee.
Oh, see, I've been having to like get away from coffee for a little bit, and because my stomach was hating me. And man, I miss coffee so much. I was having that thing happen where I was just like randomly falling asleep. It'll just be like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I'm gonna like.
Okay.
Oh, it was bad. It kind of felt like my head was imploding the first couple days there, but now I'm trying to drink tea, and I gotta say, tea, not as awesome as coffee. It's good at night, but my God, boy, I really love coffee. That's what I'm learning from tea right now. Oh well, maybe I'll learn to love it more.
Are you just straight tea guy? Or are you milk and sugar?
Just doing straight tea. I didn't even think about the milk and sugar thing.
Yeah, man, you gotta. I don't add sugar, but I do add milk.
I didn't know that you could really even add milk to tea until you just said that. So I don't drink tea very often. I just drank what I had, and it's like, well, this is my life now. This is just what I have. I don't like it as much, but this will have to do for a little while.
I don't think I quite got. I think I may have like shortened her face or something.
That point when your body's like, hey, remember how much you love coffee and booze? Well, guess what? You're gonna have to be on tea and weed for a little while. I'm like, no, great. I blame California.
Goddamn California.
Hello, Sergeant Mary.
Yeah, hello, Sarge. Guess I'm ready to move on to ink, I think. I don't know, I was yelling at you last week in the chat because you were turning that into a pencil drawing. You're spending so long on the pencils.
I know, I've been doing that a lot lately. It's been kind of bad, but I think what happens is I've been spending too much time overdrawing instead of measuring. And I think that's where I started to get a delay. That's why this week it's nice to just be inking a piece and actually not... Which reminds me, oh my god, I can actually, when I do the line work, I can actually use Demon Man's pen finally. That'll be exciting. I don't know what that's going to do.
Yeah, I think I don't quite have the likeness, but I think it's close enough. I don't know. I usually, honestly, when I do, I usually just put them aside for like 20 minutes and just look at it. Sometimes it helps too if you actually like take a picture of it and look at it on your computer, because then it's like, or stand like 20 feet away from it.
Right.
Then you can see kind of what's wrong with it. I don't know about this.
Oh god, how do I want to do this? I don't want too much line work on the house in the background because I want it to stay in the background. But it's going to be, man, that's going to be tedious getting that thing all filled in.
Sarge wants to know how you knew that she was here.
It said in the chat.
I know.
It said that. Maybe it only tells me when someone. I have her friended in the chat, so when it pops up, there's a little picture of someone waving, and it says, "The friend is here." That's why I try to friend everyone that are regular, so they pop up. I can go, I know they're here now. And I say that to myself creepily, under my breath.
Art Knight says, so nobody has used the drunk video as inspiration for Mike? I don't know.
God. That video was great. Tim filmed that video. That was so much fun. I mean, that was a really bad next day, but that video was really fun to make. I drank for so long that night. Because I had to, I was trying to, it was kind of the amateur hour error where you, I knew for the video, I was like, well, I'm going to be drunk for it, but I want to, stay drunk during the filming, but I forgot how long it takes to make one of those videos. And that was a rough next morning, but it was fun making it.
Sarah put up her drawings of her character and her little companion, Turnip, who is adorable.
It just occurred to me that I made a reference to switching from booze and coffee to tea and weed, and then I remember that my mom watches the podcast. But that being said, I forgot to put the link on Facebook, so who knows? If she's here, hey Mom, what's up?
Surprise! Oh man, I think I drank too much last night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, which I usually don't. I'm usually pretty good about pacing myself. Just feeling a little wobbly right now. More coffee and water. Oh, now it's all room temperature though. Gross.
What's the room? Oh, your coffee's room temperature.
Coffee.
Just go put it in a microwave with a fork in it, and then just leave the room as it heats up. It'll be fine.
Slam9 says a lot of good art tips in that video, like drink water with your booze and get pizza for your cameraman.
It's true, those are tips in the video.
I wanted to say too, because they're pretty new on Instagram, but if you guys are not following, I think their name is When Nora Met Nancy is their Instagram tag, and yeah, When Nora Met Nancy. It's their Instagram tag and their Reddit name. Their art they've been killing it lately.
When Nora Met Nancy.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Help me remember that. I could do it right now, but I'm in the middle of brushstrokes.
I figured out how to solve a Rubik's Cube this week.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh yeah, it was pretty not that, everybody can do it. There's guides how to do it. That's how I figured it out. But I've had this thing for 10 years, and I was like, I'm going to figure out how to do this.
That's the old Roger there, Art Broken, is loves Rubik's cubes, and he gets like the ones with more sides or whatever.
Yeah.
Like with more. I don't know. It's usually was it like 3x3? You'll get like the 4x4s and all those things, and then
Right.
he's always doing it. He has like the cube grease that you do on it, so it spins faster.
Oh yeah,
he's
got, like,
hardcore.
the speed cube, so you can adjust like how I just have a regular one. They're just like if you take them apart, like on the speed cubes in the middle, the middle square on each side, which doesn't move. Like there's a little screw under those on the speed cubes where you can like make them faster or slower, basically. But the regular ones, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, like the speed, you just touch it with your finger, and there's like. I think the world record is like, what is it? It's like 5 seconds or something. It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Like I don't want to be. I think it takes me about 5 minutes now. I've done this like 4 or 5 times. Like the first time it took me like 3 hours. But like I'm fine with 5 minutes. It's just something to do. Like, I don't need to do it in 10 seconds.
There was one dude I met that would, if you gave him, you'd mix up the cube and hand it to him, and he'd look at it for a minute and study it, and then he would solve it behind his back.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a video. I'm sure there's lots of videos, but I've seen one of this kid where it's like, he looks at it for a minute or something, and then he blindfolds himself and solves it in like 8 seconds or something.
Yeah. That kind of stuff's mind melting. I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, I think I can start on ink. The pH Martin Black Star. It sounds cool too. That's my favorite part about this ink. Is it sounds cool.
It's because it has the word Black Star in it.
Yeah, they're probably Bowie fans, I'm guessing. Even though they've probably had this product name since before that album came out, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, we were. Didn't we have an episode where we were referencing the Black Star album?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. What was the name of that album? Was it a self-titled album? I can't remember. Most Talib Kweli.
The album's Black Star.
Yeah, it's just their names are Black Star. Yeah. That was a while ago. We were all much younger back then. There was so there was this post that was in the Arts Lounge the other day, and I hadn't had a chance to actually sit down and read it, but I wanted to read it here because people were responding, and the title was intriguing. Not sure if I was being a creeper. A week or two ago, I was drawing a classmate who sat in front of me and to the left for drawing practice. I've been trying to do this more so I can get some actual life drawing and to improve in general. I overheard 2 girls behind me, friends of the girl I was drawing, say, "Weird. Just because she's good doesn't mean draw behind." Oh, so that's like hearing kind of phrases. I couldn't really hear much, but it got me thinking. Is it creepy to do this? I know artists go out in public spaces and draw the strangers that pass them by or are sitting near them in coffee shops. Is it different because I know these people see them on a daily basis, or are they just overreacting? I think maybe I should only draw people when I sit in the back of the room and no one can see me drawing if there are people who think it's weird. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'll say it's only creepy if you're like wearing a trench coat and doing something weird. Like,
yeah.
No, I don't think it's weird. Like
if you're breathing really heavy while you're drawing, it might be creepy.
Yeah, but no.
If you're removing items of clothing from them in the drawing, that could be creepy. That being said, draw whoever you want. Who cares?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about anybody that no, those people suck. Don't worry about those people.
I was a kid in high school. I was drawing creepy stuff in high school. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine. Look how I turned out.
I've gone to the bar and like all kinds of places and just drawn people like, it's no. Draw whoever you want.
Yeah, it seems to be that's pretty much the Sarah says she likes to ask for permission before drawing people.
Yeah, I think I guess it just kind of depends. Like, I think in like a bar or coffee, I don't see any problem with it. It's a public setting, like,
yeah.
I don't
Classroom, know. I don't know. I mean, if it makes the person you're drawing uncomfortable, go ahead and stop, or you just do what I do. Just don't let them know you're drawing them, ever.
Right.
Or if you hear the friends behind you saying things like, making comments about being creepy, just turn around, stare at them a minute, and just go, "You're next."
Right.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, yeah, if they're visibly, the person you're drawing, if they are like visibly disturbed by it, yeah, probably don't keep doing it, but I don't really have any, I don't see a problem with it, personally.
Sarah says, really interested to hearing people's opinions on this. I put my own experiences in the comments, but part of me wonders if people have been more negative if I had been a guy. I mean, yeah, I mean, that does come into play. I mean, you know, Ken says, learn to be more of a creeper. In my opinion, don't get caught drawing.
I've honestly, people usually come up to me if I'm drawing in the bar and like ask to see what I'm doing, which is more irritating than anything.
Yeah.
But I've never had somebody be like, oh, please stop drawing me, or, you know, like, you're real weird. Like, I don't know. I've never had that experience personally. So
I used to always draw people on the train on the way to work, and some people would oversee me doing it, and they'd think it's cool. I've had a couple people look kind of awkwardly when they realized they were being drawn. It's like, yeah, it's awkward for them, but, you know, it happens. Sarah says my life motto is never take Mike's advice. Well, should read. I'll double check as Sarah, but, well, I guess it's probably okay to read because she mentions it. Maybe I should read her full comment here. But it is funny to read the person's comment when they are in the chat. But I guess since it's written out, I'm not like putting words in their mouth or anything. There's a few people who are on this.
Yeah, like,
Free iPod says, remember, this is high school, so anyone doing anything out of the norm is a potential target. People are also insecure about and don't want you to focus attention on them. Yeah. The Art Knight, does it really hurt to just ask? Otherwise, just make sure they don't know. Does it hurt to ask? Well, yeah, because if they say no, then you can't draw them. Otherwise, if you didn't ask, then you can draw them. That's terrible, but it's true.
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, I come from the world of skateboarding.
I don't ask people. I mean, I don't do as much. I used to go out to the bar all the time and draw people for practice. I don't really do it as much anymore, but I never asked any,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you know what it is.
I've never had a problem with it, honestly.
I think that could also come down to like a gender thing again. I think sometimes, I hate to say it, but I think sometimes if you're a guy and you ask something like that, they're going to think you're flirting with them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Man or woman. They're going to think, you know, and so I think that becomes an issue. I think it could potentially be creepier if you ask. It's just, I think that's the concern there. But I also, as I was saying, I come from the skateboarding world, which is like, try the trick on the thing until someone throws you out.
What I do usually do if I am drawing somebody like at a bar or something, it's like, it is weird, like if you keep noticing somebody staring at you, so it's like I try to basically capture them as quickly as possible, so I'm only looking at them for a couple minutes or, you know, like 90 seconds, and then I don't think it's, you know, then I don't really think it's an issue, because it's like if for like 5 hours you're just drawing the same person, yeah, that's probably weird, but if you're drawing like everybody in the bar, like,
yeah. I mean, the thing is
I don't know. Is
it an invasion of someone's comfort zone? Yes. Is it right to do? Probably not always. Very much a gray area there. Should you do it without asking? I shouldn't condone it. Will I do that without asking? Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
Please, may I draw you, sir?
I think it's the kind of thing, like, you can't justify to yourself. Like, when you're doing something that's kind of like without permission, you can't justify that you're doing the morally sound thing. But, you know, you have to make that decision. It's like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. Sarah's full comment says, I always ask permission if I have the ability to, and never drew other classmates unless they request it. I think it feels different doing it in public, cafe, etc., rather than school, because the subject can either walk up to you and ask what you're doing, or alternatively walk away if they aren't comfortable. Whereas in school, they are stuck behind their desk and you can't talk to you about it. It's a good point. They are trapped. If I ever draw someone without their knowledge, I always give them the sketch immediately after. I'm not sure if this makes it less creepy, but at least it tells them what I was doing and that I'm not holding on to the piece for whatever reason. If they want to throw it away or keep it, I don't mind, but most of the time people are happy about receiving a sketch. Sometimes it can help to... See, if you did that as a guy, they're going to immediately think you're hitting on them. Like, they're going to totally think you're hitting on them. Sometimes it can help to quickly draw different people. So rather than sitting there and drawing Charlotte for 2 hours, you draw a little quick gesture of many people in the class, different hairstyles and objects. That's true. Like, it's the thing, like, if you're that thing with filming, I guess, where you can film groups of people. You just can't film a single person without their... I don't know how that works. I'd have to ask Tim about that. He probably knows more about how that works. But I always had people react positively when I did this in school, and then would ask if I could draw them or something for them. Hey, draw me a kitten, etc. One thing to keep in mind with this is that you stay subtle and do not distract from other students from trying to study or know your teacher. Also, it helps to draw in an already arty setting to begin with. Math class, kind of random, weird, arty cafe with chill music, interesting and cool. Finally, if you draw in real life, never draw children without the parents' permission, even if the child came up to you and asked for a drawing. It may seem obvious, but yeah, parents are very protective of their kids, rightly so. Yeah, especially if you're a dude. You can, considering as a dude, you're not even allowed to like be by a playground reading a book without being asked to leave. That, you know.
No, yeah. Sarge said in the chat, she says, I agree. I'd probably be weirded out if someone asked. Yeah, like if you go up to somebody like, hey, can I draw you? Like, I'm sure a lot of people would be fine, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really weirded out by that too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you just make them feel comfortable. Walk up, say, don't be scared, but I'm going to ask you something. And you probably don't get asked this a lot. Don't be scared. Just say that a lot, and then they'll be really comfortable.
Yeah. That reminds me, if anybody watches the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when he's like explaining, when Dennis is explaining to Mac, like
the implication
with women. You know the one I'm talking about?
Is it the Dennis system or the implication with the boat?
Yeah, the implication. It's so great. Oh, and I was laughing at Ken's comment earlier because I was talking about how if you're drawing somebody for 5 hours, maybe it's weird. He said, if it's 5 hours, maybe they should stop holding that pose.
It's like, wow, how are they saying still for 5 hours in any situation?
Hey, I'm not there to judge them.
Unless they were asleep, and then it can actually, that's a whole different thing. That being said, though, people on the train, I actually like drawing people when they were asleep because they wouldn't move as much.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of sleepy people to and from work that I made drawings of.
I mean, that's what I liked about drawing people in public, is because they are moving. So it's like you're just doing gesture drawings, you know, real quick pieces. So it's like, you know, like I said, I've never had anybody weirded out or creeped out by it, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's my experiences are unique. I don't know.
Damun Man. I think that's Damun Man. The text is really light. It's hard to see. I've been drawn in public before. It made me smile. It was a girl who drew me, though. See, even there admits it. Of course, I wouldn't be bothered if a dude was drawing me.
No, I wouldn't care. Like, I mean, it's, I think most people just probably aren't even going to notice, like, unless you're really obvious about it.
Even if it was a creepy guy and he was, like, drawing and throwing a beat, I think I'd just grab my phone and be like, well, here's my Snapchat story of the day right here. I wouldn't do it. That'd be terrible. That'd be like the worst thing ever.
Art Knight says, always include the phrase, don't fight it.
Hello, Adelac. Adelac says they'd be flattered.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Personally.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing, like, do what you do for your art, but also, like, there is personal responsibility in that if a person's, if you made a person uncomfortable or you felt like you invaded their privacy or whatever, like, you did, like, you can't, like, don't do what you're gonna do, but, like, be, but don't do that thing where sometimes artists try to, like, hide behind, like, the mystique of art just for their, like, shitty behavior. They'll do those art pieces that are... Like, I remember there was one artist that, like, all their art piece was gating off a public park. And everyone got pissed, justifiably. And then, like, that was it. I was trying to make a discussion. It's like, well, no, it's like your art's kind of borderlining just pranking people. Like, it's... Yeah, it's an art piece because you said it is, but you're just kind of being an asshole, Right. You're using other people's inconvenience to, like, boost your own fame. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't even remember who that is. All I know is that they went to the Maryland Institute College of Art I forgot. See, didn't work. Maybe it was Yale. Usually Yale always has art students pulling shit like that. I don't know what it is about that school with those kind of things. What they should be doing is drawing dogs in the American Gothic pose.
Oh, it's so hot in my room. Gotta get some ventilation. See, now this, usually I use a blow dryer to speed up my ink in watercolor paintings, but I can't really do that with the mic, and I don't want to like mute it every 2 minutes. So.
Someone has a thing that says, if your painting is incredibly ugly, how long do you work on it before giving up and stomping on the canvas in a vengeful rage? Someone watching the podcast? I really love that.
In my personal opinion, if you feel it's not going the direction you want, and you know that no matter what you do, you're not gonna like it, just paint over it. Just start a new one.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna be happy with it. Just start a new one. It's okay. It's just paint. Like I think that's like people, like especially new art students, and this happened in art school a lot too. It's like you want everything you make to be a masterpiece,
right?
Or at least to be like, man, this is good, or be proud of it, But it's like that's just not going to happen. Like, I mean, eventually you'll have enough skill and ability that it's like, just if you work on it long enough, it's going to look good, basically, even if you're not happy with it. But like, like it's just paint, it's just pencils. Like it, like it's okay to paint over it or get it. Like it's all right. It's not. It's like It's just paint. It's nothing to worry about.
It isn't interesting in a time of social media and kind of the weird permanence, non-permanence of the internet, though, how if you make a bad piece, lots of times people are like, I just post it. But, a lot of artists before social media, like, they wouldn't hang a failed piece in a gallery, or at least intentionally. So it is interesting how you'll see a lot of more of artists' failures and mistakes online, which can be, intriguing. I like being able to see sometimes failures only because it's a humanizing element of art that you didn't get a lot of in art history because the failure paintings weren't kept, Then also seeing though how many times clearly failure paintings were like used for sales in galleries was a little weird, but whatever. I don't know. There is I think Sarah had mentioned the awkward teen phase of a painting, which definitely speaks a lot to that because in the beginning, I feel like it's very noticeable if it's not going well early, and then it's noticeable if it didn't go well near the end. But there is a weird middle part where it's kind of going back and forth, where you're not feeling too great about it, but things are kind of evolving in it. And I think you kind of have to hang in there when that's going on. But the biggest thing is it's the fundamentals. If the formal elements, value, proportion, perspective, all those kind of things, if that's not where you want it to be, it won't get better.
Yeah.
If that stuff is not an issue with the piece or it's going okay, then it can get better in the end and you can wait it out. But if those basic formal elements aren't working, that's it's not going to just be better in the end. You can't fix a painting just by adding more detail.
Yeah, and like I mean, when I'm doing stuff like for watercolor and ink drawings, like I start with pencils first. But like if I'm doing an oil painting or something, I just go like straight to brushwork, like no line work first. But it's like I don't, even with if I'm doing oils or something where I haven't made a sketch first, like it's like I don't start finalizing it basically, or it's like I don't start taking more steps on it until the first stage is correct.
Right.
Like no matter how long that takes. So if it takes me 3 days, which it usually doesn't, like if it takes me like 3 days to get the pencils right, like then that's what it takes, and then I know when I start on watercolor or ink after that everything's in the right spot. And it's just a matter of putting the ink down at that point. Or like an oil painting, it's like I make sure all my shapes, my general shapes are right. My large brush strokes are right, and everything's sort of where I want it and the right size. And when everything is where I want it in the right size, then I start putting detail in, and it's like until it's right, I don't start doing it, you know. So like I try to make it to where it's like where I don't have those awkward parts where I'm like, I'm not really sure where this is going, because it's like, I mean, like the idea, it's fine for my intent or my idea with the piece to evolve as I'm doing it, like that's fine, but it's like generally it's like, okay, like I'm gonna do an ink piece with this, or, or I'm gonna do a watercolor in this style,
right?
Because that's what I was saying in the chat a couple weeks ago on the podcast too, like I start everything very loose and then tighten it up, but it's like you can't start a piece being like, well, I'm going to make this like a really, like hyper realistic ink piece, and then halfway through decide that you want to make a surrealist piece or something,
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
or if you get like a day in and you're like, okay, I like where this is going, and then you come back to it the next day and you're like, well, now I want to take it this direction. Like that's fine, but if you do that too much, or it's like it starts fighting with itself, or if I don't know, it's just like it's important to know like where you're going with the piece. So it's like if I like this piece, if I try to do it like this, it's like I'm gonna make this like most of my recent ink pieces a little more photorealistic, but it's like if I do half of it like, okay, I'm going to do this photorealistic, and then halfway through decide like, okay, I'm going to make this like lac blacks, then it'll look like crap.
Right, because the foundation of the piece was not in the proper direction.
Yeah.
And you can be, I mean, obviously, as you were saying, you can be open to changing course if it's taking you a different direction you're not familiar with, but it's intriguing and you like it, follow that path. But that can't, but you need to go into things with certain tools and that knowledge, and you can't just rely on that's always gonna happen or work out, and most of the time it doesn't go that way, so it's not safe to assume that will just happen magically every time.
Yeah, like it's nice when accidents happen and they make nice art, but it's like I'd say that's the rarity. Like for me, that's probably like 5 pieces out of 100 maybe.
Yeah
it's like you can tell when somebody does something accidentally and when somebody does something on purpose, like in art, where it's like, okay, they don't like, you're like, that's a nice touch, that's like they clearly did that on purpose, as opposed to be like, okay, well that looks nice, but they did it totally by accident,
Right.
Like I said, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like, it's when you're doing something and like the reason you're like, I'm putting this here to do this, or to move the eye around, it's like it's more effective.
Yeah. I mean, you have to cater. I mean, like anything, it's a lot of process, so your process is going to be heavily influenced by the goals. And so if you try to change that process in the last minute, it's like, well, the first steps were different now, and though you might get somewhere that could be interesting, most likely even then it won't be a difference that you might have expected or really like, and it might not be a difference that makes it better. A lot of time people talk about the old Bob Ross happy accidents, whatever, and those things are happy mistakes, or I don't know. It sounds weird when out of context. But it sounds like the phrase of a happy accident would be something that should go back to the creeper discussion. But the thing is it's not necessarily going to make it better. It's always that, I don't like that assumption that it's like, oh, and it's, it goes this other way, but then I went down that path and yeah, every time I do that, it ends up better. It's like, no, most of the time it's worse, or it fails, and that can happen. And then you start over. It's better. It's good to try to manage that stress. I mean, obviously, I'm horrible about that. Like when I screw up, it's just, oh my god, it's like a freaking roller coaster in my head when I screw up. I wish I had something better, a better comparison than that cliche, but it is rough. That immediate of like all the emotions just rushing in at once. I don't know why art does that to me when I mess it up. There's so many, considering how many things I can mess up all the time in life, it's kind of amazing that messing up the painting seems to like be the most responsive.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I've been doing it for so long. It doesn't bother me anymore. Like I said, I know a lot of people in the subreddit and on the podcast are beginners, but like it just doesn't. I said there was like I had a lot of great professors in art school, luckily, and like I said, like the same guy that told me, that it was like it's just paint. Is he was like this? He did the same thing for me because there was a point in art school where I was just like in a bad place and I was making all this real weird like crappy pseudo surrealistic non-objective bullshit art. He was just like, oh, he's like, if you spend too long in a certain mindset, it's like it affects you. And he was talking about how art can affect your life. So it's like I try not to let it affect me too much. Like obviously I want people to like my art and like, I put everything I can into it, but I also I don't know. I try not to let it bother me, I guess. And like it's like I've like I said, I've been doing it for so long. I feel like I've made so many mistakes that when I make a mistake, I know how to fix it. Or it's like, okay, that's all right. I can cover that up or take that off or whatever. Or paint over. So,
do you have a technique to handle like art fail stress? Do you have a routine or a habit you do?
I said I try not to. I don't know. I try not to make fail pieces, which I know not that anybody does. Like I said, I like last week when we were talking about doing sketches and stuff. It's like I don't really do sketches because if I'm gonna do a sketch, I'll probably spend 2 or 3 hours on it, and by that point, it's a finished piece.
Right.
So it's like that's why I don't do sketches because I just like end up making the finished piece. And I don't know this. I don't. If I say I'm like in a figure drawing class, like a life drawing class, where I got a life model, where I'm just doing like all gesture poses real quick, like like 90% of them are gonna be crap. But it's like once you sort of get into this, like I don't know, it just like once you get into the swing of things, it's like everything just kind of like, it's like yeah, that's just sort of where that needs to be, and it's like I don't know, like if like what I was saying earlier when somebody was like, what do you do if you don't like a piece? Like I try not to get a piece to that point where if I'm 90% of the way through it and I hate it, like I'm just probably going to paint over it, like I'm not going to finish the piece or whatever. I'm just like, well, I'll paint over this, or I'll use the elements that are working in this. Like,
right.
I like I said, it's just art. Like it's just pencils and charcoal. I try not to let it affect me if I make a crappy piece.
Me too. No, I'm just
kidding. That was just probably a long rambling answer where I don't.
No, it makes sense. Oh, Adelaide had said maybe define fail first. I'd say fail is usually I would only know I'd be really upset with a failed piece if I just made a mistake on it that is distracting. I find it so distracting in the piece that like either the viewer it's not effective and the viewer's not on board with it, or it's like lots of times I just can't even look at it. Being that like if it was like abstract paintings, perhaps if like the colors got muddied out and it completely fell apart in the material, representational, if there's proportional things that are off or something in a distracting way or doesn't look intentional, it looks sloppy. Pretty much anytime you're working on a piece and then you're like, and it makes you angry because it's not working. I'm
gonna step out for a second. I can get some water.
Okay, I'll switch back to my thingamajig here. That's how I define fail, though. That's what it is to me, and it's kind of interesting to actually think about like the degrees of it, because I don't know. I find with pieces that it almost feels there's an immediacy to a failed piece. Like I'll feel like I know it failed almost immediately, or that it is in the process of failing. Like sometimes you can kind of recover. But it is a weird immediate thing. It will be that distracting, like like the frustration and anger like sets in really, really quickly. Actually, that'd be interesting. I want to see in the chat how long when you have a piece that's failing, do you feel like there's a spectrum of failure as it's happening, or does it feel pretty immediate? Because I don't think I've ever worked on a piece and just been like, well, this is kind of not working. It's either working or it's not. And that's kind of interesting. I haven't thought about that in that regard before. I'd be curious to hear people's feedback and their experience with the spectrum of failure. Adelac, but the point is the viewer doesn't know what you were going to do in the first place. And that's true, because I've had pieces that I thought were failed, and people ended up liking it. And lots of times that's on me, and I'm being too hard on myself. But oh my god, there's a dog. Hold on.
Yeah, I got Uzi.
What's her name?
It's a he.
Oh, what's his name?
Uzi.
Uzi. This is perfect because I am drawing a pug, and now there's a pug on the podcast. Get that face up there more. It's hard to see him. We want to see his squishy face. Oh, is he not one of these he's making pug noises? There we go. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love pugs.
Oh, Uzi. Sorry, I don't know if you can.
Oh man, pugs are the best. I know, I love pudgy pugs. I know animal health, blah blah blah, but man, pudgy pugs are just so adorable.
I know people that are like, I hate pugs. Like, let me put this dog in your lap and tell me you hate this dog.
I know, that is the thing. There's the whole kind of breeding thing, blah blah blah. But my god, man, when there's a pug, they are just the most they're so loving. And I had no idea how fast they could scoot. Like, they could really run fast.
Yeah, I was gonna bring Albie. He's the big fat one, but I can't.
Hold
he's
on.
hard to pick up.
He's fatter than this pug?
Oh, Uzi's the smallest one.
That's the smallest pug?
Yeah. Uzi's he's a big old fat one, but I can't really pick him up. He doesn't he starts all freaking out when you try and pick him up.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna go put him back.
Oh, nuts.
Sorry.
I understand. Well, let's see. That's the high water mark of the podcast right there. We're not going to beat that. The art night. I've actually drawn 2 pugs. I just realized it. Man, how do you get anything done with 2 pugs around?
There's 3. Actually.
3 pugs. How do you get anything done with 3 pugs in your life?
Well, they're my landlord's dogs.
Doesn't matter.
They pretty much just follow him everywhere, though. So
I remember I was taking care of a friend's pugs. Like, they're in San Francisco, and go over and then just crash at their place and take their dogs on walks and stuff. And it was just like, oh my god, I love these animals. They were so fun. And they were running around barking at statues and stuff. Oh, they were the best, man. One day, dude. One day I'm gonna have a dog. I'll get there.
There's also a little mutt dog that lives here. Her name's Sunny.
What, she's just a mutt?
Yeah. So I would have gotten Albie up here, but he's a little big and fat. So maybe later I can get him.
Get him in the room.
There's my. It's probably on the small screen, but.
Oh, let me see here. Let me switch to a full screen of you there.
Oh no!
Okay, hold it up a litting higher. I'm only getting the top half of it. There we go.
The lighting's probably crap, but there's my current inking.
Yeah.
So I've been doing I've been wanting to do some more looser painterly stuff, but I did all that in college too. So right. I've just been doing really a lot of layers, basically just putting down a lot of layers. I think Foxtrot showed up earlier.
Yep.
I think he mentioned to me that today is Australia Day too, I believe.
Australia Day?
I think that's what he told me. Oh, it's Thursday, I guess. Thursday is the official National Day of Australia. Australia Day.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yes, a bunch of people, I don't know, a bunch of people did portraits of you guys. So said thanks to Meaty for suggesting that.
Yeah, seriously, man. Meaty is the man. We gotta get him on here again. Making some art. Art night. I once took care of a pug for a night. It was my roommate's uncle's dog, and at night he complained if he felt lonely, so I'd have to hang my arm over the edge of the bed so I could kind of pet him. Meaty says, Ryan did it first. I just copied him. Oh, humble Meaty, we call him.
I was planning on doing one of Sarah too, but I like that Meaty had that idea.
Wait, you said it's Thursday, that is, but isn't today Thursday? No, today's
No.
Wednesday. Oh my god. That's right, because the podcast is on Wednesdays. Well, that's good. But wait, it's his Thursday.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Because he's in the future.
Yes, that makes sense.
Sarah, oh god, there's a warning out for toxic air in London and people are being told to stay inside. That won't help you feel better sooner. That sucks. On the positive side, there's a good chance you're probably going to stay inside today anyways because you're already sick. So, you know. Now not only are you're working on feeling better, but you're kind of doing like your duty as a citizen. I want a dog, man. Hopefully, if one day I get a dog, it won't be one of those dogs that just like hates me, because like some dogs are just mean, that happens, right? Not every dog can be awesome.
It's usually the owners.
Oh, it's like with children.
It's the owner, not the dog. Usually.
Good to know. So my dog's just going to be very fat and spoiled.
Sorry. Yeah.
My dog's going to be really confused when anyone's not squishing his face. Huh?
He'll be a big fan of funk.
Yeah. Oh, every time I look over to the cast and I see my giant head lean into frame, it's just like the worst. Only because it's like how much of the screen, like when I don't realize I'm taking up and blocking the drawing. Which means I didn't aim my camera well. So every time I'm adding marks, you just see the top of my head. I should slide this forward a little bit and maybe that will help. So I don't like blocking the frame.
Alright. I was going to ask Sarah if she has been to the carnival in Final Fantasy 15 yet. Or if anybody's playing Final Fantasy 15, the carnival is up now. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, that sucks. Sarah has to keep the windows closed, which sucks because she's already like overheating. And Foxtrot, was it like in the future? It's very sunny in the future today. Nice. Summer in the future too, though. That's right.
Yeah, and I think Sarah is wholly shitting about the Final Fantasy 15. It's on the main menu. If you exit out to the main menu, it was what the most recent update was. But if you go out to the main menu where it's like new game, load game, all that, there's a little thing that says special, and that's how you get to the carnival. Oh yeah, she says I've spent like bloody 15 hours in the bloody carnival. Yeah.
What is it? You just like play little carnival games or something?
Yeah, one of the cities that you can go to, which like you're actually traveling to the past to go to it, but there's like a chocobo and Moogle carnival going on right now.
Like it changes? Like they update it live?
No, it's a one-time thing. It'll be going on for about a month, but you got like when you downloaded the holiday DLC, it came with this little carnival pass. And so like a few days ago they put the carnival up, and it'll be up till like February 20th or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer though that it'll go away if you really like that part of the game. What if it's your favorite part of the game?
Oh yes. What?
What if it's like someone's favorite part of the game and then they take it away?
Well, there's not like, I don't know if you could spend a month there. Like I've spent quite a bit of time
You'd be surprised. You're talking to the guy who spends all his time in like Elder Scrolls games just jumping on roofs.
Oh yeah, Sarah says she's got 103 fish in the bloody carnival. Not one of them was the special ones with fucking items on. Yeah, I still have yet to get an A and a C tag, I believe. I gotta. I'll be back in a second, Mike. I'll use the bathroom.
Okay. I think every time I walk away, the Uzi should be on camera to take his place. And I could waste a lot of time in the carnival. We're talking about the guy who spent probably 2.5 hours on Grand Theft Auto just trying to see if I could get the motorcycle onto the high dive. So, Sarah says, for anyone playing it, please go to the Square Enix cafe and buy some food. Trust me. See, I love once he brings it up, like how all the excited comments that Sarah's just like the whole screen. Oh man. Okay, I guess maybe this is a game I should play. I haven't really. Of course, I haven't played Final Fantasy since 7, so you know, it's been a while. Oh, again, a host from Heartbroken. Gonna be jumping in the chat, hopefully. Because Heartbroken, we were talking about you if you were here. I don't even remember what it was about, actually. Damn it. Oh, Rubik's Cubes. That's right. Demon, are you having a problem with something? Like uploading something or whatever? Jet Dog Art, where's your giant heed, Mike? That's right. Now he's being humble about his Rubik's Cube skills. Except I think he just calls it like a cube or something. Like he's cubing. I might have made that up. I don't remember. No, he says now Rubik's Cubes are truth. Yeah. Heartbroken's, he's all about Rubik's Cubes. Anyone that has any Rubik's Cubes questions, just feel free to ask him because he can fill you in. Let's see here.
Hey,
Welcome
Jet.
back.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Everyone talked so much shit while you were gone. It was ridiculous.
You know.
Oh, man. This drawing's I'm gonna end up putting so much more time into this drawing than I was. That always happens, man. I always think I'm gonna I'm pretty bad at estimating how long a drawing takes. I've come to find. Like, with some things I can kind of get a pretty good estimate. Like landscapes, I'm getting pretty good at that now. But with a lot of portraits, I'm still underestimating how long these things take.
Right.
How much is that?
Usually I'd have my blow dryer, but it'd be real annoying on a microphone, I'm sure.
That's true. Blow dryers are really nice.
It looks all like extra crappy though. I just leave it on the floor.
I want to see. I want a response from the chat if everybody is good at how good everyone is at predicting how long a piece will take, and if they've actually sat down and recorded the amount of time that it took them to make a piece. Because that was a big thing. That's why, like, for my landscapes, I know pretty well how long they take because I did a handful of them in different mediums, and I recorded every hour drawing, and so that. And then I find with portraits, I'm pretty close. If it's a straightforward portrait, no backgrounds or anything, I can usually estimate it pretty well. But things like this one's kind of a very different element for me. So I think I was thinking this was going to take a lot less time than it actually is. And I'm glad that the inking portion of it's on the podcast because it's nice to actually be able to do some inking during the show.
It depends on what kind of piece I'm doing, how long it's going to take. Like for most of these ink pieces are probably like 2 or 3 hours. It takes me like 15-20 minutes to do pencils and then another 2 hours or so to do ink. But I'm usually like watching YouTube and shit while I'm doing it too. So
right.
I could do it a lot quicker. But
yeah, if it's not a commission, there is a good chance I'll be having something on Netflix or YouTube playing at the same time, and usually it should be something I'm just listening to. But admittedly, I'll burn through a whole season of Seinfeld or something while drawing. I'm not above it. Sarah brings up a good point. Everything takes longer to draw on the podcast too because of the split attention while you're trying to talk and draw, which is very true. And anyone who's been on the podcast learned that pretty quick that it's not that it's harder to draw while on it, but it is kind of surprising how much less of the art you get done in the same amount of time while doing it.
Oh, Shmoony, you missed the pug.
Yeah, Shmoony missed a pug. Sorry, Shmoon.
I'll try to get him on later if he comes back over. Like my landlord has two houses that are like right next to each other, so he's just like walking back and forth constantly between the two houses. But next time he comes over, I'll try to get him back on here.
Sarah says, I have to meet deadlines, so yeah, I know the timings for most things. Live at a show drawing someone, 1 hour, 1:30 if colored, comic page, 4 hours, start to finish, digital sketch, portrait, 2 hours, digital painting, roughly 10 hours if it's a massive illustration. For me, it's like, I can do a landscape drawing in all pencil that's about 3 feet tall in 30 hours. I can do a small one about 6 by 8 inches and probably, I think I could crack one, a good one, in about 3 to 4 or 3 hours. Portraits usually take around, if it's just pen and ink, black and white, they can probably take around, without doing the podcast, maybe 4 to 5 hours, around, and that'd be like a 11, 14, 12, 16 size like this. And then paintings vary. Depends so much on the style of painting, the technique, and the background. So I can't really estimate paintings very well because
I don't have like a set time either. Like I do them until they're done. It's not like, oh, I've been working on this 2 hours, it's done.
Yeah.
Like it just usually happens to take about 2 hours. But if I need to work on something for 10 hours or 20 or whatever to finish it or to make it look the way I want, then I will. Like,
yeah, I guess sometimes in that regard of commissions, you have to just kind of do that thing where it's just like, it's done after this amount of time, like this will be the level of completion of this piece, because you have to right, be able to, like, there's like steps to detail and completion, you know what I mean? Like, so you gotta is it gonna, what is it gonna look like? If it's gonna be highly detailed, obviously you gotta do your big estimate, but
like for commissions, it's more like, okay, I need to have this done by this date. I mean, this is how I do them, but it's like I need to have it done by this date, and this is like, in my mind, this is what I want it to look like, so I need this much time to do it.
Right.
Like that's, I don't know. I charge by the piece, not by the hour, though. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you like to piece and scale?
Yeah. So I just like whatever the size is. I just have ranges for sizes, basically.
Now, usually before I start giving anyone any kind of numbers, I always have to ask them kind of specific. I have to ask them what medium they want, what size they want, and then if it's something from a photo or whatever, I want to see the photo first. And then I can start giving estimates, because, I don't know, I found that, the time I can spend varies so much, it's hard for me to... I can give, I can show examples to a person, I can do a thing like this for this much, but if they have a specific thing in mind, I have to get all those details before I even throw out any numbers. Otherwise, I can just only give them examples of stuff I've done before, or what I've done at what price point.
Well, that's, the exact reason you're saying basically is why I do it by size too, because it's some pieces it might take me 2 hours to do.
Right.
And some pieces might take me 10, but it's like they're still getting the same size art. So it's like if I charge one person $100 and the next person $500 for the exact same size, it's,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's another kind of problem too. Pricing can get really tricky when things vary like that. I've had an instance where I had art and then it was going in a gallery, and obviously in the gallery there's going to be commission. And so it's interesting because now the art was billed straight for me before. And then the thing people always say is well, bill it what you'd want and price it like you're taking your own commission. I mean, and that's true, but it was interesting because the space I was in was kind of an open studio space, and one of the benefits of that is when you're representing your own art, you can charge at a rate that could possibly get more people in that price point. But now it's funny, now that the art's been shown in a certain way, now it's now it has to all be priced according to commission rates. And that's weird because then it's like, well, if I sell it in my studio, I get twice as much, or if someone else sells it, it would be half, you know. But I have to keep the pricing the same.
Right. Well, it's like I look at it as like I'd love to sell my drawings for like $1,000 or something, and I think they're worth like way more than what I sell them for. But it's like I can either sell a piece for $50,
yeah,
or I can have a piece that I've priced at $500 that like nobody buys. You know, because like I don't have that market yet. It's like it'd be nice if I could sell everything for that price, but it's like it's either $50 or no dollars kind of deal,
right.
You know, like I can get $100 or no dollars. I'll take the 100, you know. Like,
right. That was.
So I wish I could, you know, and it's like you guys, and we've talked about on the podcast before. You know, it's like when you start giving people prices for your art, they're like, oh, like especially if you're not established, and you're like, okay, well, this is $1,000. Like most people aren't going to pay you $1,000 no matter how good you are if you're not established, you know.
Yeah, they don't. And it's so funny because the measure of establishment is literally just a gallery saying that you're established. That's so much of it. It has nothing to do with what you say, what the artist says. But if a gallery says you're established, even if it's like your first show or whatever, it's amazing how much people will trust that. And it's funny to me because, you know, a lot of galleries are. You know, because they're the ones that spend a lot of the time, and obviously in the field and doing the sales. But it is kind of funny how where people find their measures of legitimacy in critique and you know, where a person stands in the art world.
Right. You got some drawings showing up in the feed too.
Oh really? Oh boy. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's nice, Foxtrot.
I got a few things. I think so. Ken was mentioning I have 80 hours for an episode and it's done, and my art director says it's done.
Sorry.
Just paying for characters, props, effects, costumes. Did a thing for the D&D chair. You know what's actually funny is a lot of people are doing portraits of Sarah and I, but this kind of thing is like. Obviously, I don't know if we should wait until an episode when she's on to look at the portraits of her. Let's see here. I have to try to... Anyone let me know if you're having trouble getting art on Twitter or anything, because then I'll be sure to share the art that you posted at another spot if you're having trouble. Otherwise, yeah, whatever goes on the podcast, just throw it on the Twitter with the DACPix hashtag. Oh my god. Yeah. I saw Foxtrot's piece. Oh my.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, Art Night and Art Broken. They're going to love that. That is Jesus. Art Broken says, Mike, I was in your gallery. Tell people I'm established. I have saying you are established. And that is true. That was a fun show. Man. That was right at the end of when I had that gallery there. That was good times. Signing contracts over burritos. Putting up the big pieces. We made a dude's night with that art show, man. That dude was glowing because he was on a date with someone he met. He was it's like middle-aged couple, you know. They were just like swooning over each other, and man, like they just had so much fun. And then they talked to like me and Roger for a while. They ended up picking up a piece, and you know, they were just. He was. I mean, man, that was just. That dude was glowing at how much his night was made by that art. And he'd written that later, that seeing the art had like meant so much to them. It was like I'd never seen such positive feedback in an art show before. I was like, oh man, if people were like this to artists more often. Oh. So Sergeant Harry said, Mike, look at chat. Are we referring to the Foxtrot piece?
I wanted you to look at the Foxtrot piece.
Yeah, because that is so ridiculously hilarious. Oh my god.
I think Tinted Drill put up some pieces too.
Oh man, okay. See, I'm worried that I'm going to be missing stuff in the chat. Oh, that's a really nice piece. I need the chat to vote. We need to decide. I mean, it seems like a lot of these portraits we should be looking at when Sarah is on the podcast, as we can enjoy them together right now. But you know, oh man, that's a really nice portrait. Damn, these are really great.
Yeah, I say it was hard to find. I think I got a screen cap of Sarah is what I'm using, but there's like you both have like 2 pictures of yourself on your social medias.
Yeah, we do not have a lot of selfies on there. Man,
I don't either
pieces
though.
are beautiful.
Yeah.
We got to make that book happen. Oh, I mean, what am I talking about? That book does exist. That's what's so hilarious. That's a real book. Yeah, this is amazing. I'm kind of like, I'm at a loss for words. The best community ever.
Is there anything else in the artist lounge that we? Didn't you have there's something you were gonna?
Oh right.
Talk about?
I got like what was it, all the photos here. Someone had mentioned which printer they should get to make prints of their paintings, and I commented in there, and obviously like Epson's good, but I think it's an important thing when a lot of people realize when they buy those printers, if you work in very flat mediums like pen and ink or watercolor or washes and drawings, etc., those printers can look really nice, but if you're trying to make prints of acrylic or oil paintings, even if they're not very textured, it doesn't translate well. And at that point, you probably would want, if it's mass production, there's companies that can do like kind of the G-clays or things like that. But you have to also be careful with those too, because those crack. Those are cheap. They crack easily over time, and so I think the going the Epson route, if you're looking to make some type of cheaper merch, can actually be a pretty good middle ground for being able to make drawings particularly for that, and then just have your other paintings that are more the more expensive paintings. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Meaty. You did a sketch of me as well.
Oh, nice.
Nobody ever draws me like, because I don't know. I don't really like pictures of myself either, and I never model. But thank you. That was awesome, Meaty.
Sarah says, I'm fine with having them on the screen this week. I can say a massive thank you next week, and we can have them rolling in the corner as well. Yeah, that works. We'll do that. Maybe we'll look at them twice. We'll just keep looking at them because they're really awesome. Oh man, yeah, there's so many. Oh, that's fantastic. Sorry, I'm kind of like, I'm saving all the images, and I have to make notes of who's who. Someone else has a comment that says the best drawing book for beginners. We mentioned it before. I remember we were talking about that like Marvel comic drawing book.
Yeah, how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Which made a lot of people like. There was artists out there that are not stoked on that book at all in the comic industry. But I don't know. I find that.
Yeah, it
helped me learn perspective at a really young age. I remember going into an art class in school, and like the teacher would start teaching perspective, and like I'd already known about it because of that book.
Right. Back in a second, Mike.
You better be grabbing a pug. Oh wait, hold on a second. Sorry, people. I'm saving a lot of images at once here. This is an emotional roller coaster and an exciting time of a lot of great art. So there's not a lot of talking at the same time. Man, I'm gonna miss some of these. I know it. Oh God, there's so many. All right. Ooh. Oh my god, these are so awesome. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And okay, I think I'm caught up. Holy moly! It's the thing. You never the being drawn you never. It's always an awesome surprise. Like it's always, I don't know. I find it always feels really good. It's always you never just it just never gets old. Anyone watching Victoria, it's kind of crap, but Albert is hot. I don't know what that is, but a good night, Adelac. Thanks for joining in on the fun. Adelac's leaving. Say goodbye.
Bye, Adelac.
Man.
Oh, God, I feel a little bit hungover still. I'm not feeling...
Man, you must have been rallying really, really heavy last night. You're going
I usually don't drink enough to get hungover.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, sometimes you get those ones where it takes a day to wear off. Did you try drinking Gatorade? That helps. Eat a banana. Did you eat a banana?
No.
That helps too. Meaty elbow needs more bugbear wang. Bake a circle. Oh my god, these are awesome.
Very nice Slam 9.
I know, this is great. You guys are the best. This is ridiculous. I should probably actually look up a topic. You see, everything got derailed. Now I'm too giddy here. What can realistically be accomplished with a basic Wacom tablet? Well, that's not a question I can help out much with there. Ryan might have some feedback on that. Sarah would be good for that one. Maybe we'll save that one for next week. Let's see here. Oh, here's an interesting question. I think I can help. How do you get past the "it's who you know" ceiling? I don't think you ever really get immediately without reading this. I'm going to go ahead and quickly say that ceiling never really goes away. It just changes, and much like your skill set, it just evolves over time. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a bad experience when dealing with that. So let's see what we got here. Hi there. I've been doing shows for 8 years and I hit a ceiling. Well, that's like pretty good so far. There's such a high saturation of both shows and artists that for the good shows, it's about who you know rather than about content, quality, or your integrity at that show in the prior years, regardless of what their site says. So I'm becoming exhausted with it and want to do more shows, grow my business, but I'm finding it nearly impossible because of that sort of thing. To clarify, most of these shows are out of town for me, 6+ hours away, and there's no place for me to rub shoulders with people in charge. Oh, that's when it gets hard. I'm looking for any advice beyond "that's just how it is," which is exactly what I just said. So let's see if I can actually help there. Surely people get higher somehow on hard work, integrity, and quality rather than just knowing someone on the inside, right? Thanks so much. Any advice is genuinely appreciated. So a lot of that, when people get are kind of out of the loop but get recognition, they tend to be good still at being kind of their own PR machine and making the name for themselves, because that's what a lot of the battle is. Oh, you're out of the room. I should have read this while you were in the room.
Oops. Oh, sorry.
Well, it's the point is I can sum it up. It's how do you get past the "it's who you know" ceiling. So a person's been showing for a while, and they hit a wall because they don't have the contacts to move forward in the art world that they're a part of, and they live far away, 6+ hours away from the place where they're showing art. So they're trying to figure out like how. I mean, I'm looking for advice beyond that's just how it is. Surely people get higher somehow on hard work, integrity, and quality rather than just knowing someone on the inside, right? And it's like I can say it's a little bit of both. People do get that, but like the odds of you getting recognition if you're isolated from the art world, like you have to keep in mind, can people find you? Will they find you? Would you find you? Like if you weren't yourself, how would you come across your art? Like imagine yourself being anyone else on the internet. How would you come across it? What are the odds of them coming across it? And so there are things you can do to promote. I mean, you can try to do those. I mean, you see them all the time in Reddit too, when people like make the posts and then there's like a whole. Sometimes they try to do the sob stories on pages, this or that, or they try to. Perhaps they do some fan art. Could be a way to find a community if that's the art you do. If you're in the kind of gallery world, if you don't have an art community by you, the other option is literally trying to build an art community. Like that's another way to do it. If there's enough people, at least where you live, to get some type of little art scene going, because you got to remember, there's actually a lot of small, like really small towns that are known for their art. A lot of people don't think about much of Taos, New Mexico, but that's an art town. Marfa, Texas became an art town. It was huge, and and that was a lot of people that were very well established going to those places. But you can establish things locally in small spots with small resources, pop-up shows, just trying to band the artists together. That being said, it sounds like your career, you might be at a point where you're feeling beyond that, and at that point, it's like, well. If it's not a matter of moving, you might just have to make that journey to those places more often. I mean, if it's a 6+ hour drive or whatever, then you just might have to start having 6-hour drives be semi-regular in your life. But you can still connect with those people online socially, so they know who you are. You just got to be a genuine fan. If there's galleries that you're going to, you're showing, or you'd like to show, and you don't feel like it's there yet, I mean, make sure that like you really like that gallery. Make sure you don't like them just because they are the quote successful one or whatever. But if you like their work, you reach out, you check stuff out, go to some of the shows. Because also, if you show up and you're the guy that's like, you really like their art, and you're like, man, you've been driving 6 hours to see their spot because you really do believe in what they're doing, that means a lot to people.
Yeah.
Sarah's mentioned, I've noticed I keep seeing the same artists everywhere. They post on ArtStation, then Level Up, Facebook page, then a bunch of subreddits. I may have never seen the artists before, but I'll see their place about 5 times a day. It's crazy how on point some people are at social media posting. I'm
not, Meaty says I'm trying to stay awake. I'm not trying to stay awake. I'm trying not to throw up right now. It's like I'm fine as soon as I set. It's like just the lights right now in the room not helping, and if I would have just drank a few cups of water last night before I went to bed, it'd be fine. Ew.
No, probably not. That only helps so much. That's okay. If you ever need to run out of the room and barf, you're more than.
Oh yeah.
Welcome. We don't judge here. Have you had once you get like solid, good, greasy food? Oh, that's looking great. Let me go to the bigger screen here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hold it up a little higher? That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, just about. I put on your piece. I was gonna post some too because I took like pictures of them, did scans of them as I was doing it. Because this is usually about like my first stage. I get like the inks in, and then I go in with like a technical pen or a pen and start putting some line work in, and then do some more inks and like yeah.
Right.
So I'm like maybe 20% done. I don't know.
I'm really gonna have to fudge it for the tiles on these roofs for this one. I get like because I noticed that the old Grant Wood there himself just kind of scribbled in the tiles here. Here's my big head coming into scene. Jet Dog was asking about it earlier.
Meaty wants to know if he can comment on the volume of flannel. It's not all flannel. That's just they're like.
It's just like that pattern's more noticeable. That's all.
I will show you guys my favorite shirt, which is actually a maternity shirt for women, but I like it. What?
Someone had also mentioned in that one thread where someone was asking about the gallery thing, they brought up a really good point in saying, are you sure that's the kind of world you need to be in? Wait, that was a maternity shirt?
Yeah. I usually wear it on Valentine's Day because it's all hearts.
How does
this thing is like the most comfortable thing ever, man.
How does it fit though? Is it like all wide on it?
Yeah, it's like way wide. But if I put it on, I don't look all fat. It's like that's what's cool. Like it makes you look all skinny.
I never think about wearing maternity apparel so you can look slimmer.
And there's a lot of non-flannel in here. It's not flannel either. It's like just has that pattern. I do have some actual flannel. But...
Someone had brought up a good point and had asked they had. No, I just totally lost it. I was looking at the thing again. Man, you guys in the chat, you're just bonkers. That is an interesting point that the person Ziplaquick had said in regards to, what sort of work do you do? Is the type of work that absolutely must be part of a gallery exhibition circuit to survive? Can you maybe initiate a change of venues or reapply what you do to something besides exhibitions? For 15 years, I struggled against the ceiling that hangs low on the gallery exhibition scene, and then for 15 years, it did me no good. Then very recently, it occurred to me to just say to hell with galleries and shows, and I started to sell my stuff on eBay. I can work faster and sell cheaper, and I don't have to drive anywhere or know anybody. I've just started doing this, but I've already sold work, and since then, I'm stepping up my internet game. It's resulting in a pretty quick uptick of social media attention. I hope that's sustainable growth for at least a while. And that's like an interesting thing. I feel that transition happening. And because I remember it's like, I think there's this thing in our head where even if galleries aren't the most effective means for the art we do or for our career, it still is that thing where it's like they can be such a kind of, we're obligated to kind of be under the idea that you only have credibility as an artist if you're showing at a gallery. And I think that's something that's been taught to us for a long time. And I don't think that's I'm starting to feel more and more that what that is that's just credibility and that part of the art world. But the art world is getting wider, and I think a lot of it is going to have to be artists kind of learning to come to terms and be okay with where they feel is the kind of good place to be. Like a place where you kind of have to be able to respect other formats beyond just the gallery, and then come to terms with that in yourself. And this is something like I'm speaking of because this is something I've been like kind of struggling with in realizing that that in regards to in my own experience, I was very much under the idea for a long time, and even a lot of people I know, it's like, oh, you got to do this, you got to have a solo show, you got to have a show at a gallery, you got to have a show at a gallery, this and this, and it's like, yeah, it's nice, but there's nothing wrong with your being self-represented and having a presence online. It's just that it hasn't been around as long, so we can't culturally measure it as this, as being as significant, even though it technically can be. Ryan left. Oh boy, yeah. Long day right there. I think that, I mean, the only really goal in the end it seems to be the life. If there's any life lesson I'm learning, is that it's not about where you feel like you should be in the art world, or where the art world tells you should be. It's like if you're finding happiness making art and the opportunity to make art in your life, that's good right there. But being able to, if you're making a living off of it online, like it doesn't matter with the galleries. If you're only going to be as credible as you feel you are. So
oh yeah, sorry about the noise, everyone.
how you doing there, champ?
Oh, I'm all right. I think I'm feeling better now. Jesus, sorry. I thought I closed enough doors.
No, I mean, well, no, that was the thing, is I don't think anyone actually heard that. They just saw you totally not look very good and be like, okay, and had to like leave for a sec.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh man.
I think I feel better now.
No, that's good, because lots of times, like when I'm in that spot, like it won't matter. Like if I'm sick or not, I'll still feel like I'm the worst. I have a few friends who have seen me with like bad hangovers, and I'm amazed you're even able to sit up, because when I was bad, I can't even sit up. It's just such bad news.
No, right.
Jet Dog says we heard. You know what it is, though? The funny thing is the relevance of that is while talking about galleries and how they hold the only standard of credibility in the art world. Something seems really, really fitting about that.
Yeah, that's what triggered the reaction, I think.
You're like, oh, we're talking about galleries? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think I feel better now, actually.
They can help, man. Especially right after, if you get a good chug of water.
That was like the third time I've thrown up.
During the podcast?
No.
Oh.
Just earlier today.
Oh, right.
So I usually don't like drink enough to get hungover, so
yeah.
A little bit surprised I'm even hungover at all. But yeah, I'm feeling it right now. Same.
Oh man.
Now I'm starting to put in some line work though. Because I used to be a lot like I say, like in college, I did a lot more like painterly stuff. I should put some. I might be able to. Oh, let me find one. I have an old painting back here.
All right. Oh heavens! Wait, let me go to the full screen here.
Yeah, sorry, it's a little bit. It's also like terrible color theory happening here. Like everything's all green.
It was so funny because all I see is some red because of my color blindness.
Oh, right, yeah. Now, like her hands, like kind of like corpse colored, and like. But this one's a little bit tighter. But I used to do like really loose stuff, like more like foxtrot and some stuff like that. And then I just like after like a year or two ago, I was like, I think I'm gonna go back to more realistic stuff.
Right.
Which I don't know, I'll probably end up going back to looser stuff eventually. It's like that's the thing I've said on the podcast before. It's like it's like kind of waffle between like it's like, oh, do I want this one to be like really painterly? Do I want it to be like real tight?
I know, and I need to. It's hard to know, like kind of in the beginning. I don't know. I need to work looser. This is getting ridiculous. Oh boy, I'm really like kind of. I don't know. I feel like I'm not moving very fast on this thing. I'm liking how it's looking, but I'm not really on top of this.
Demon Man's asked me if I like the gummy bears out there. They're okay.
Gummy bears.
Yeah,
oh, gummy
edibles.
Bears.
Edibles don't really do anything for me, honestly, because I smoke constantly.
Edibles put me on such a bad roller coaster.
They don't. Everybody's like, "Oh man, just eat one and then wait," because it'll will fuck you up, man. I've never had that.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
let me eat like five more, and nothing happens.
God, I didn't wait. I ate half of a cookie edible. I was at work, so whoops. There was some smart times during college, and then yeah, and then I'm like, I don't know, and then I'll be fine, and then I ate the other half, and then 30 minutes later, I was like, oh no, and I had to try to like unpack and sort books while being higher than I've ever been before. It was so bad. I'd have to like I was like going into the restroom to like slap myself in the face. And this is a Barnes and Noble restroom, so anyone who's been to a Barnes and Noble restroom knows it's not a place you want to be very often. Some of the worst restrooms in retail. Tiny Joe says, I have a very hard time letting go and loosening up. I think that's a thing. I think I've found that sometimes just switching the materials, like if you need to work looser, like only use big brushes. That can help sometimes. At least that's the help with me. Use a media that is, you have like no choice, like wet medias and etc. etc. Jet Dog, all I do is take off my glasses. That can help. If you're doing digitally, you zoom out and only work from far away. Helping me loosen up was when I pre-mixed palettes and then I forced myself to use all the paint. That helped me work looser. Tried to do.
I can't do the pre-mixed color thing. Too much work.
Oh, see, it's weird because it's weird to spend like 2 hours just mixing paint before starting. But man, it's so fun when you get to just blast through a painting in like an hour and a half.
I do all my mixing on the canvas, so it's like if I want it to be, I'm like, oh, I need this to be more white, so I add white to it.
I'm horrible about that.
Yeah, I know it's not for everybody, but that's like just how I learned. So I don't know, it's just the way I like to paint too. I don't have the patience to sit there and pre-mix all the colors. I'm like, if I add blue to this, it'll make it the color I want, or if I want this more red, like.
Right. Well, Tiny Joel mentioned if I had the space, use large brushes on a large canvas. I was talking about using large brushes on a small canvas, so you can't let yourself do any details, or even better yet, do some palette knife paintings.
Yeah,
then you go real loose on those.
I was saying earlier, if you have the space too, like stand like arm lengths back from your canvas and paint like this. Like if you paint the whole painting like this, it'll be a lot looser.
Yeah. And shit.
Should we want to go to a break? Or?
Yeah, we should look at art here. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, everyone, make sure, I'm going to give like the little 5-minute warning. Everyone make sure that your art is hashtagged on Twitter, DACPics, DACPICS. And we'll look at all these portraits and all this art and anything anyone's working on. That would be super fun. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there, so this break's going to take a minute for me to collect all this.
Cool.
Oh, Demoman stuff got on there. It's actually working for him now. Nice.
Yes. I think that the problem was he was doing at DACPics, not hashtag, but I'm not sure. It looks like they got it figured out. So.
All right. Well, we'll take a break for a minute. Everyone upload your work. We'll chill and listen to some funky jams, and I'll collect the art together, and we'll have a look. And if anyone has any pieces where they want critiques, let me know, and we can critique them. All right, people. We will be back in a minute.
Later.
All right, we're going to come back in now proper. There we go. Now we have everyone's art. And we are recording. Let me make sure the levels are good, since everything else was being pretty goofy here. This piece that we're looking at right now is of Demo Man's friend when they went to the 1800s ball.
Nice.
And there's a lot of art and a lot of portraits, and I can't just, and these are all beautiful drawings and GIFs, so this is more an appreciation scroll through we're going to have here, because I'm not going to critique people's drawings that they were so nice to do. That would just feel weird. It doesn't make sense. Demo Man also wrote the draw a circle and a gigantic logo in the snow outside of his house.
Nice.
That's for it's for the helicopters. It's huge, man. I don't even know how you draw a circle actually on that size when you're on the ground. That would be maybe I guess you could use like a stick and a rope or something, like a giant compass. He made this nice little piece with the scissors. Scissors are a symbol for us, just cutting through the bullshit and keeping it real. I imagine. I imagine that's the metaphor that we were going for. With it there, I like the little scroll worker on the sides and that text too. This is Foxtrot Oscars fan art drawing. In reference to Bone Magic, where if you listen to the Artist Lounge podcast, old episodes, there was Art Broken had found a book in a store called Bone Magic, and I was with him, and he actually went back to the store to buy it, and we were reading excerpts on the podcast, and wrote some fan fiction. It's just goddamn the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, you can pick up the book Bone Magic. It's paranormal romance. You can pick it up in your local bookstore. And here you see the inspiration. This is Jonas's piece here. That's so awesome. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I accidentally had the thumbnail here, but I love that use of like kind of the squeegee and the drywall knives, or at least I mean that's what it looks like. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen their process in action. Oh, yeah, but man, we were talking about working looser, and like this is a great example of how you can work looser, but then letting yourself tighten up in certain areas, but really letting the material do what it does. You don't.
Yeah, he has a few videos on his Instagram where he kind of shows a little bit of his process.
That's like, yeah, follow that Instagram. That is, I mean, follow everyone. But yeah, I want to dig through this because I want to see some of those process videos for sure.
We should ask the art night. Is two O's in Dutch? Is that just an O sound? Like, I think his name is Jonas. I think is how you pronounce it. Joonas.
Yeah, we need a pronunciation guide for the name here.
I think it's Jonas, but I could be wrong. But...
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, like I told you that he uses that black iron oxide for his ink. Mm-hmm. It's like, but it's just powder.
This is Ken's piece here.
Nice.
And was this in reference to a D&D character kind of thing? We were talking about that because I think that's when it popped up in the chat. I don't know if it was reference to Sarah in D&D or however, because I don't know enough about the lore to know. Art Knight says Joo as in you. Wait, are you saying, is that yo?
Is it Eunice then?
I guess. Tiny Drill. Dang, I have to leave to get ready for swimming. I missed Monday because I was sick, so I can't miss today's session. See you later, Tiny Drill.
Bye, Tiny Drill.
Your art's in here. We'll be looking at it. You can catch back up in the YouTube of it. Okay. Oh, I believe this was Maestro Chi's drawing of Sarah. Maestro Chi did a couple drawings, and they got it posted there in the chat so we could see them. Oh, that line works so great. Oh, wow. So we always thought drawing around the form. We always thought this is a perfect example of like what that can do when you have lines go around the form, and then you can have lines go with the form to break that pattern to kind of add some tension, leaving them all kind of loose over here, where they're, and then having the actual eyeball be a round eyeball. I need to get better at that. I do not spend enough time shading eyeballs and teeth usually. That is so awesome. I'm stoked that I was wearing the Death Wish hat in that too. Got the smirk, got my sad puppy dog eyes. Fantastic.
Well, see, now our knight says, like, yo. Yeah, so is it Jonas or Eunice?
Ah, it's Jonas. Oh my god, I gotta get that door. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, go. Oh, wow, that's... Yeah. Those Maestro Chi pieces are real nice. Oh, man. Really, got like a nice full range of values on it too. Like the eyes and the eyebrows are like all pure black basically. So you got a nice full range of values in there.
All right, I'm back. Whew.
Yeah, I barely said anything. So.
That's fine. I can fix that in post. That was an important shipment. That was so many records arrived in the mail, but I needed them for Friday, so... Woo! Woo! All right. Oh my god,
there's nothing more to puke up, Demon. There's nothing in there. It's just...
Oh my sad eyes. You see, these eyes aren't sad when the doorbell rings and there's records at the door. Oh, those eyes are done so well, though. Man.
Meaty piece here.
I wish I could draw myself half as well as you guys drew me. I tried to draw, like, self-portraits for, like, social media kind of things, you know, for Instagram, you know, to having it that and Facebook and Instagram, and they always end up so terrible, and I never end up using them. I love this meaty elbow piece.
Yeah, it actually the way he did the hair reminds me a lot of Dave Cho.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see like Dave Cho style in here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. See, this would make a beautiful print too. Like a big print of this would be great.
Nice little bit of salt in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like.
I'd buy the print of that for sure. But also it fits very well with a lot of the music I was listening to too, so that print would go right up on the wall. This is Meaty's portrait of me. This is the first time he's had a look on my eyes that don't look like sad puppy dog eyes. I love the heavy brushwork here. As I always reference like Dave Mazzucchelli and Eddie Campbell and stuff, it reminds me a lot of the way they do it. I like just like single strokes being entire shadow sides of objects. Oh my god, that's a really awesome portrait.
That's really nice.
Oh, this is so cool. Oh man, this is like so much. It's like so overwhelming. Beautiful portrait of you right here, man. Meaty threw down. This is really great.
Yeah, thanks, Meaty.
Mm-hmm. Sarah just says, "Oh my god, I just realized that was a Punisher hat." Oh man, Meaty throws down. Meaty reminds me of how much more. Here's a beautiful portrait of Sarah. It reminds me of how, like, every time I see his work, I just like, oh, I just want to I want to make more. I want to be like more prolific, get more things out. Just like.
Yeah, that's like most of the people on Reddit, like especially Foxtrot. It was like, everything you do.
Well,
everything.
And I love those, like, that's just that variety, because you look at these, comparing these and the portrait of you, and then seeing like where he works loose, where he tightens up. It's just like you just know that there's just a mountain of drawings in his house, you know, and that's so awesome. It goes a long way.
Yeah, I really like this portrait of Sarah. That one's really nice.
Yeah, it's really great. Like the minimal color used in it. Knows exactly where to put the details. Oh, I think I actually had the thumbnail one in here instead of the full one you did of me. Crap.
No worries.
This is the one I saw first. I really like how you put the Punisher on the headphones too. I feel like I feel bad. The only reference you guys had to draw me was like in a club at night. Could like not be a more difficult source. I'm blown away that you were able, like, because not only is like this drawing is just so awesome, and then it's even more shocking you were able to pull this off with such a like such a dark and hard to work with reference.
Yeah, for a while I was debating whether or not, because it needed like that black behind you kind of for the value.
Right.
So I was like debating whether or not to put it in there, but I think it came out all right.
Oh yeah, I think it was perfect like this. I think you made the right decision. For sure. And then you had some pieces that you had done from where they imagine these were RGDs earlier in the week. Had some profile shot here.
Oh yeah.
I think this is. I think we had saw some works in progress before, so it's nice to see them finished. I really like this one a lot. I like the eyes. I like how you made like their lips shiny. That's a hard thing. I always forget to do that sometimes. Add a little bit of the kind of shine on the bottom lip and the eyes, and sometimes on the tip of the nose.
Yeah, people a lot of time too forget the little shadow under the nose, and then there's also like a bit of reflected light.
Right.
It's also up in there, you know, like.
Yeah. That's like I think that's something that Sergeant Mary Mary is really good about, like capturing like those little parts of reflected light to give like a lot of form to the features. Here's a drawing that Sarah made of you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah. God, it's like, man, everyone here is like really good at just capturing everyone's features really effectively.
So swarthy.
Yeah, and everyone makes it look like so effortless. Like you guys are like, just, oh yeah, no, I just draw this and then there we go, no problem, there we go. I'm sitting here swearing and kicking things over. Here's a beautiful portrait of Sarah that Sergeant Mary Mary did. See, there is a reflected light right there. She knows.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
I like her watercolors are so great.
Yeah. There's the reflected light on the bottom side of the lip we were talking about before. Using the cool colors for shadow edges. This is awesome.
Yeah, she's starting to I don't know if she's gonna keep doing it, but like when that Art Deco theme happened, she started putting like some more pattern in her like backgrounds and stuff, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
I'm a big fan of putting pattern.
Yeah, pattern's a lot of fun. It's like it's like especially there's that funny moment though where like when you start doing a pattern and you're like, oh, I'm committed now. Like there's like no rushing it. You have to just work through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like this bake a circle of me me prepping a pizza. Slime 9 did this. Oh, the other funny thing was I had just finished eating an entire pizza myself like a day or two ago. And in all defense, it was over the course of a few days, but it was this, and now I just want more pizza. I'm gonna have to buy some pizza after this. Oh, that sounds really good now. I just can't believe you guys were able to get any features of me from that reference photo. That must have just been so brutal.
Wasn't that like I felt bad because like then the people I messaged, I was like, so these are the only 2 pictures I have. Sorry, like it's like you might need to do screen caps or something.
I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just full of love in my heart. You guys did this. This is so awesome.
Shmoony wants to know if you're the new Salt Bay.
I'm the new what?
Have you not seen that?
Is
guy?
that the meme where the guys?
The steak dude, yeah. Nusret's something, I can't remember his last name, Turkish dude, but yeah, where he's just like the salt's like cascading off of his elbow.
No.
Super good looking dude.
I was wondering what that was all about.
Yeah, he owns a bunch of restaurants in like Turkey and like 2 other countries.
Oh wow. That'd be pretty sweet. Always like tiny drills.
Oh,
like
nice.
Work. Yeah. It was interesting, like the way they did the like shading the lines, but like keeping them all in the same rhythm behind in that.
Oh.
Bring patterns. Beautiful portrait of Sarah.
Is that a charcoal?
The one of me?
Yeah.
It looks like a pencil and charcoal.
Huh.
But it could just be one or the other. I mean, well, it's definitely something like charcoal or in there. And then the one of Sarah's looks like a pencil. It's beautifully done.
Yeah, that one upstairs is really nice. Very delicate.
Yeah, that's awesome. Getting the shadow from the hair over her eyes, too. It's hard to get those, like, subtle variations from up here. And then still having where you can still see her hairline, but also have the shadow there.
Yeah, trying to find a good picture of her was fucking impossible. Because all of her pictures too are like exactly the same. I was like, I love you, Sarah.
I had one more, but for some reason my screen's not. Hold on a second. I gotta load this differently. There we go. Boom. And here's a nice one that the art night had made right here. This is too adorable. This is so cute. I actually feel like we're Canadians in a South Park episode.
Oh.
That's the fun-loving spirit of the show right there. Demon Man, Mike, did you get the clock?
Last week that Slam did of you? The couch one, did you see that one last week?
There was the couch one.
Yeah, there's one Slam whipped up like a real quick one of you where it's like you and it's like there's a little thought bubble over your head and it says like, man, what even are couches?
Dude, how did I miss that? I gotta find that.
I don't know.
Oh my god, someone link me.
Yeah, if somebody has it, put the link in chat or something because it's awesome.
Hey, Demon, when you're referring to the clock, are you referring to the scissors?
Yeah, I think he missed it, but yeah, we did show it earlier.
Oh, right.
Oh, and, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the Harry Potter reference. See, this is why I need to read things that people read and talk about. Everyone's trying to get that picture. How did I miss that? Where was it? Where was it posted?
He put it in the link, but you were ranting about couches, so.
Oh. Damn it. That might be hard to track down now, then.
I'm sure somebody has it.
It's got to be somewhere. That was all the art we have there.
Oh yeah, I don't think Sarah saw it. There it is.
We got it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here we go. Let's get this back in. Oh my god, this is so awesome. First I have to save it.
It's like Shel Silverstein too or something. Yeah.
That was the weirdest rant. If there's one thing I want everyone to learn about that rant is it's not about what couch you bought, it's why did you choose to take a photo of it the way you did. And it's not the fact that you took a photo, it's why did you take that photo. That's just all I want you to ask yourselves. In my insane freaking rant. But I still stand behind it. I stand behind my rants. I'm telling you, man, everyone needs to watch a hyper-normalization. I'm telling you, that's all this is. By the way, yeah, seriously, man, if you guys haven't seen that documentary, you can see it for free online, and it is awesome. Let me switch back, so I want to get this on camera so people can see it. There we go. Couches, man. What do they mean? Oh, this is so awesome. This is the best drawing ever.
Yeah, this should be the logo.
Yeah, this is... I think this is be the one we wrap it up on that. This would be... I'm gonna fade into this at the end of this episode.
And now I've got to the point in inks because it's like when you're doing the pencils too, it's like I don't usually put enough information on there, like
right.
You know, the shadows and stuff. So it's like it doesn't really generally look right.
Yeah.
Until you start adding some value to it. But I think I feel pretty good about it now, actually.
Right. Does anyone in the chat have any questions? as we're drawing near the end of the episode here. Oh my God, Heather Makes Things, you showed up right at the end of the episode.
Oh yes, I sent her. She just sent me a message on Instagram, so it'll just be easier to answer it here. But it was for the podcast today.
Oh.
Everybody was doing pictures of Mike and Sarah, but whenever you're done, you can post it whenever. There's no rush or anything.
I think go figure she shows up at the end right on an episode where we're actually on time. Like when the episode started and it's like the right length of time.
Everybody can thank me being hungover for that.
Honestly, this is the one where I started on the inking and I am moving so slow on this piece at a snail's pace. I didn't even know there'd be an episode today because I thought they were going to be ripping windows out of my building, so I wasn't really all that prepared. Let me switch your screen if you hold the art up. It's looking awesome. Can you hold it a little closer?
Yeah, sorry. And turn some of the lights off too.
Oh yeah. No, it's looking good. That's going to be awesome. Working from the very few references and pictures of us there are. Heather Makes Things, my toilet exploded out of my sink. Oh, God. Medieval back pressure from Ryan's toilet, probably.
Funny story. I live with like 3 other people, and like so I can like basically never use the bathroom, but I also live right next to Taco Bell. Literally 70% of the time, if I need to use the bathroom, I just like walk over to Taco Bell.
I'm amazed that the bathroom's in good enough. Well, I guess if it's just,
It's actually like right by the college too. It's pretty nice Taco Bell actually. As far as Taco Bells go.
Hey man, sometimes they can be pretty nice in there. This episode's brought to you by Taco Bell.
Make sure to
run for the border. What was their slogan?
Tacos.
I don't remember their slogan.
Think outside the bun.
Is that what it is?
I don't know if that's what it is now still, but that's what it was for a while.
Oh. Come on, Taco Bell, you need to be more catchy.
Demon Man says, "Are you making a thread to post these pics to?" Yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Not a bad idea. There was the sounds like Heather Makes Things' entire apartment or house or whatever is completely falling apart. Make a run for the border. Yeah, that was the vintage Taco Bell slogan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem all that good of a slogan these days. Now Heather can't ice her cookies. Oh no. That's the worst when the power goes out and then like all your food in the fridge is just fucking toast. It's like, I'll never go to a grocery store again.
You know what you do? Like, if hopefully your power gets turned back on pretty quick, but if your power does go out and your fridge gets turned off, just leave your fridge closed.
Yeah.
Because it has, like, if there's enough food in there, too, and it's, like, obviously the fridge itself will stay closed for a while. But, yeah, it'll stay cold for a while if you just don't open the door.
How long would you usually wait? For me, it's like if you have a power go out, I don't know how many hours until I'm just like, ooh, I don't know anymore.
I don't think I've ever had one happen that long, actually. I think the longest one I've ever had has only been a few hours. So.
Oh. We've had a couple power outages out here that have lasted, like, through a night. And that was pretty gnarly. Wow, it fried the fridge, melted the microwave, and killed my coffee maker. Jesus.
Not the coffee maker. Jeez, the coffee maker's the worst one.
That is the bad.
How are you going to do anything without coffee?
Well, that's like a crazy, like, surge. Oh, man. Oh, God, this is going to take me forever to do this thing. I'm going to, like, be spending all day trying to get this thing done. Hey, check this out, though. I got this. So I wood glued this record, right? This is the track by Tomorrow's Dream called Ain't Nothing But a Meatball. Good electro track.
Yeah.
I think it's ready to peel. I kind of want to peel it on the air, but it's hard because usually sometimes the glue isn't completely dried under the little tab as fast as everywhere else. But this is a way to clean a record, man. This is how you do it.
Oh, that's a way.
It is the way.
I prefer using cleaning solution. I don't know. I'm not sold on the whole wood glue thing yet.
You're
Still, I
not?
know.
Watch it right now. Are you watching?
No, I've seen it. I've seen people do it. It's wood glue, man. It's not for cleaning things.
Says you. Look at this magic. This is gonna feel so good for everyone. Oh God, look at that. Look at this. Oh yes. Boom. Holy crap, man! That did a really good job. So this should sound near mint now because I paid for it near mint. It better sound near mint. Now I gotta wood glue the other side of it. Oh God, that feels so good. That is the best feeling ever. I cannot wait to try that out now. I had another record out there that had little specks of paint on it, so I'm hoping it pulls that off. Oh man, did that feel as good for you guys as it did for me? I should really wood glue a record each week because I need to clean a bunch of them just so I can do that once on every episode. All right, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm gonna call this a wrap soon because I gotta go wood glue more records and prepare for Friday. So I just want to put wood glue on records so I can peel it off. Oh yeah, you put it on nice and thick. You make sure it's all smooth there, and it has to be really thick. And then you just wait like 24 hours or whatever until it's completely clear and dry. Best feeling ever. Ryan, where can people find your artwork?
At Ryan Sheldon Art on all your various social media platforms. That's about it. I'm trying to get into this gallery in Telluride.
Yeah.
The woman that's the director there, I haven't heard back from her yet.
Right.
But I've actually gotten like 4 or 5 commissions this year already. So.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's a good start right there.
Yeah, so hopefully I don't break my arm this year.
Break your arm? Did you break you broke your arm?
Last year.
Oh. Oh,
Now I
that
have
sucks.
this giant stupid scar now.
Wait, did you tell us about how that happened before?
No, I basically slipped on some ice and fell directly into a deck edge.
Ugh.
Completely broke my arm in half. Had to get surgery to get it fixed, so now there's a plate in my arm.
Jesus.
Yeah, it sucked.
God damn, how did you land so hard on it? You were like...
And then I was like, there's...
Did you fall backwards or something?
No, there's a bunch of feral cats at my house. Because, like, it'll take way too long to explain why there's so many feral cats in my house. And they, like, sit right outside my room and just, like, make noise all night. And, like, like I went out there one night to, like, chase them off. Slipped on some ice and just, like, fell, like, my entire body weight basically just fell, like, on my humerus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it sucked, man. And then it's like I stood up and then, like, I knew it was broken right away pretty much because, like, I went to, like, move my arm. And since it wasn't, like, attached anymore, basically, you know?
Oh, God.
Like, it just wouldn't move. Like, I went to, like...
Watch it flop around?
Well, it wasn't really flopping around, but it's like I went to, like, button my pants, and it's just, like, my left arm wouldn't move up, you know? It's like I was telling my brain to move it, but it was just, like, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so weird. You're like, I'm telling it to move, but it's not doing anything.
Well, and then this was at like 3 a.m. too, so I was like, "Fuck! I got to drive myself to the hospital." So like, you know, like, got my pants and my shirt on and everything. Like, I went out to my truck and I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot my Medicaid card." So I like had to go back inside, grab my Medicaid card, and then I showed up to the hospital and like the 2 guys that were there, you know, to like check in or whatever.
Right.
I was like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure I broke my arm." And they're like, "Oh," and, you know, and they have to like, you know, said check in and everything. And then they're like sitting there and they're just like, "Oh, I think you maybe just, you know, dislocated your shoulder." I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's broken." And I kind of like pushed it, you know, and like my whole arm like bent in. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's probably broken."
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I guess when you're in the shock, you can like still drive with broken arm or whatever until.
No, yeah, they were like, they're like, they're like, "Oh wow, they were like, you know how many people call the ambulance because they stubbed their toe or something?" was like, yeah, well, nobody was gonna drive me here. Like, I had to drive myself.
You're like, I didn't hit my head. I know how much an ambulance costs. I'll drive myself. Thank you very much.
If I didn't have, I mean, we won't get political about this or anything, but if I didn't have Medicaid or Obamacare, however you like to call it, like, I wouldn't have gone to the hospital.
Right.
It was $13,000 for them to tell me my arm was broken.
Yeah.
That's like, I knew my arm was broken.
Yeah.
It was $13,000 just for them to tell me it was broken.
Right. Yeah, that would have been a bummer of a bill to have.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone to the hospital. That's that's just saying, like, if I wouldn't have had healthcare, man, and like without, like, I wouldn't have been able to afford the surgery or anything, like,
yeah.
So like $50,000.
Yeah, you would just be 50 grand in debt for an accident.
Yeah, or I'd just have like a real fucked up arm, man. Like, like,
yeah,
there's a 25-degree bend in it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It says the story's almost like exactly how the hospital experienced when they broke their wrist. And they're in the Netherlands. They're in Dutchville.
Which, thank you so much, delightful Dutch people, for making that video. Did you see that one?
What video?
Responding to Donald Trump.
Oh God, no! I gotta watch that still.
It's like a Dutch talk show or something, but they're like, we built an ocean between us and them. We're the best at building oceans. It's so great, man.
Good. Sarah says, "You poor beautiful Americans. I wish I could gift you free healthcare. Yes, we wish you could too.
I wish. Yeah. Listen, guess we won't get political, but yeah, there is a shit show happening right now in America.
Yeah, it's going directions. Not the most reassuring directions, but directions. Horrible directions.
I do not support anything about Donald Trump. Anything.
Oh, Art Knight's mad at me. They had sent me that video earlier, and I didn't see it, and now I'm in trouble. See, you brought that up, and now I'm in trouble.
Well, that's what I do.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm never going to hear the end of that.
Damien Hirst sucks. I better get that in there.
And, oh yeah, that's right. That's just reoccurring. I thought there was another, but I can't remember.
I think I'm finally hangover free.
Figure at the end. That's how it happens, though, man. That's how it always is with me. Is it's that same thing too, where I'll be like fine, and then suddenly there'll just be like this 2-hour period where I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah, that's like I was telling you. It's like I was fine when I woke up at like this morning, and then like I was fine when we started the podcast, and then it was just a couple hours there. Did not feel great.
I was surprised you were the first one to podcast with a hangover, because I thought that was, especially how the Artist Lounge podcast was. I always thought that would be me, but given the circumstances,
So we're podcasting for 5 more hours, everyone.
We're going 5 hours strong. Hey, I could keep going forever. I don't give a damn. I have a lot of hours left of this puppy drawing.
Yeah, I have these. These are frustrating sometimes. If anybody has the Sakura jelly rolls.
Yeah, I usually use those for white.
I love these, but like sometimes it's like the ball in the ballpoint, like it's like it won't come out like when it's like sometimes they're a little iffy.
I had a whole box of pens once that like they were all pretty much like jammed up and didn't work. Like the just cheap ballpoint pens, but they like none of them fucking worked.
Yeah, I said these jelly rolls are like my favorite for art, but they're kind of iffy.
I like jelly roll pens. At least I like the white ones, because I haven't used the other ones yet.
Yeah, I need to do some stuff with this pen white ink I got, but I haven't had the chance to use it yet. And I also have this gold ink, and I'm just like sitting around. But I was looking at Black's at Jonas's Instagram, and he's been doing a bunch of like black and gold pieces.
I never really like done any pieces that use like gold or silver metallic paints or colors. It'd be interesting to play around with that.
Yeah, I've done a few pieces. I even have one piece I gave to my friend where I actually gold leafed part of it,
Hmm.
which like I think it can be a really nice effect because like I love some of like Klimt's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it if it's done right, it can be really nice.
Yeah, it can be beautiful. I think the one of the tricks I see is as long as someone's trying to not simulate to make it look like actual gold or silver in an object, but just using it as part of a palette, it tends to go really
Right.
well.
Um, Demon Man is asking about this brush. I assume he's asking about a watercolor brush that's filled with water.
Let me switch here.
These are the Pintail brush pens.
Hmm.
This is the one that you can fill it with watercolor or whatever. They also make are they? These are their regular ones that have like this is a sepia, this is black, but you can order like sets of them, and they'll usually like throw one of these little um, refillable ones in. But
Hmm.
if you look for Pintail brush pins, Demon Man.
Yeah, I just have the black Pentel. I actually think I had a box of that watercolor pen thing, and I haven't used it yet. Someone told me about it. Oh yeah, there they are. Still aqua brushes. Still in the packaging.
I've used my I like yeah, I like them. I'm not as good with the brush pen as some people. I need to practice a bit more.
I've just kind of used mine sloppily. I haven't actually tried to use it to do like real clean like lines. I've just used it to pretty much
Right.
be like woo and make that sound, I guess.
Yes, Demon Man. I like them. I think they're pretty nice. I mean, it's like anything you can. I don't know. It's just have to use a little bit. They're pretty cheap too. So like
Yeah,
you can get like 5 of them for like $3.
yeah, it's the kind of thing where if you didn't like it, it's not like you're not out a bunch of money on it or anything, which is always nice. Seems rare, few and far between moments in the art world when you can buy stuff for cheap. My my
I
favorite
think
art store.
I've accumulated so much stuff over my entire life that it's like I don't have to buy stuff too often anymore. Luckily,
Yeah, I only have to buy arches pads to pretty much so I can work on multiple pieces at once, which I did yesterday. I went to the art store that I criticize a lot in this show because lo and behold, they gave me 40% off coupons. But the funny thing is
40% off. I know that.
the coupon has a whole bunch of shit added to the bottom of it of all the things it doesn't apply to.
Uh-huh.
And at first, the person at the store was like, "I don't know if these work for the arches pads." I was like, "Of course it doesn't." But it was on. But I think it actually. I didn't see it on the list of on there, but it was on sale anyways. But I was just like, "Of course!" Like they bring back the coupon, but then they exclude pretty much anything you would use it for.
Yeah.
Like anything that's expensive, pretty much. Like you can't even use it on like Copic markers or anything.
Yeah, I worked at a Jerry's in Phoenix for a while, and like it would have the same thing, and it was like, oh, here's this coupon, but you can't use it with this or this or this or on this day.
At that point, it's almost just like, you know what, just don't have the coupon. Like, just don't even do the coupon. It just
Yeah.
looks worse. Like,
Um, Anybody else have any questions anybody had?
right.
Any
Yes.
art questions?
Yes, because if not, we gotta wrap up here. And then, I guess in the meantime, I'm going back into chat mode. I haven't seen the chat window in a while. Boom, here we are.
Now Sarah is typing on the PS4, which
What? Her phone died? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I didn't even know you can type on a PS4.
yeah, you can use the touchpad too to like
Right.
it out. So it's actually like ends up being a little bit faster sometimes. I mean, faster than the PS3.
Right. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Yeah. So people, if you want to follow Ryan Sheldon's art, you follow him at Ryan Sheldon Art. You should follow that Instagram.
And everybody check out When Nora Met Nancy is her Instagram. I think it's a her, but Their
When Nora Met Nancy.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like I think they got picked for an artist pick this week too, but like they're fucking killing it.
I'm gonna do it right now. You know what? I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna follow. Talk is cheap. Here we go.
Yeah, and they have like I think they got some more followers, but it's like they only had like 10 people following them or something when I first started following them, which was like 2 days ago. They're fucking killing it. You have any new Instagram follows?
I don't know you, man. I just kind of follow the other people we meet in here in the community. I haven't been doing like much searching.
Right.
Like right now, for example, following this Instagram that you just mentioned. See, this is like new turf for me. Nora. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. Like
follow.
Amazing.
Oh man, there's so much good stuff in here. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, if anyone wants to follow me, that's it. MC Steffen. What helps to remember, you could say Mick Steffen.
It's not McDonald's, it's MacDonald's.
No, it's not Max Steffen though.
I know, but that was my Coming to America reference. Have you not seen that movie?
Actually, I have. I just watched it not long ago. Had a movie night with it. Ain't that right, Art Night? And, but yeah, you can follow me there. I also am doing in Oakland, every second and fourth Friday, spinning an electro night. Primarily electro, but it's going to be kind of electro boogie and modern funk. And that's at the Rock Ridge Improvement Club in my neighborhood. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin those nights, and then I'm going to take the records I played, reduce it down because I don't want to do like 4-hour mixes, but then make like, kind of like how I was making those mixes each week, but now I can kind of make a mix from that can right. Promote that night in that spot, and then also we'll have some fresh music in here because I have a lot of records that I can be peeling glue off of, so there's going to be a lot of new music in here, and so that's happening. So that's announceable now because that was one of the things I was getting going. And there's some other things that are not announceable yet, but I do have, I'll mention like when I'm done, but I do have a commission that just got confirmed in the last couple days that I'm very, very excited about. And that will have more stuff that I can talk about and share with people later once that's further along. But I'm really, really stoked on it because it's not often you get to like make art for stuff that you love and believe in and want to support. So this is pretty cool. Yeah. And everyone be sure to follow each other. Be sure to follow When Nora Met Nancy, and then love all their stuff. They'll get a bunch of follows and love it once. Yeah. We'll confuse the shit out of them. Tell them they're getting the draw circle bump.
Get some more. Everybody in chat, if anybody wants to be on the podcast, I think it'd be great to get some more people on the podcast.
Absolutely. And I'm still I'm going to figure out how we can get also multiple people so we can do like group things.
Yeah, that's
multiple people at once.
Like on Critical Role, like I was actually going to like message their person because they have 3 cameras on their stream and they do it on Twitch, and I was just gonna be like, how do you guys do this? Because
if they use OBS, I would love to know how they do it. If they're not using OBS, I guess I'd still like to know, but that would be a bummer. But man, if there's a way to do that in OBS, but with Skype or Hangouts or however, that would be freaking awesome. Yeah. But don't be shy. Hit me up if you guys are interested in drawing live on the show. Everyone out here is really talented, and we all learn from each other, so it'd be fun to be able to see some people's processes. So don't be shy to hit me up either through Instagram or whatever as Funisher on Reddit. Also one of the mod of the Artist Lounge. So since I'm one of the mods there, you can find me that way. You can hit up Sarah too at A Gamer Draws. Be sure to follow her at A Gamer Draws and buy her book. Hold on a second, man. Come on. She spent 10 years on this series. 10 years of her life. She could have been going outside. She could have been going outside, but she spent 10 years on the book, and I want to give this a proper shout out here with the page. You all need to go over and let me make sure I do this right. Right there. You guys need to jump on her website, and you need to get her books. And she still has the limited edition box set, which you can pick up, which comes with all sorts of goodies. And Sarah's always talking about how awesome her packaging skills are, which I'm going to find out soon enough with my order. And yeah, so this is the jam. This is a 10 years of growth and work to get to that point. So I'm excited to get the final piece of the series. So yeah, you definitely want to pick that up.
All right. Put a link in the chat for one of his current Instagram faves. So.
Really? Let's have a look-see. Death of a coworker.
Yeah, if you guys have anybody that I don't know, if you follow on Instagram that you guys,
Yeah, if you guys want to give any shout-outs to people to see here.
I always like following new artists, so.
This is a Death of a coworker here. Really well organized Instagram. They're the ones that definitely have, it's just their art. They keep it very focused on that. Which always looks really... I always get jealous of how nice that looks, because on my Instagram I have kind of a handful of mix of things, so it doesn't look this clean. This is really beautiful. I really like this. I really like this art.
Yeah, for a while on my Tumblr I did the same thing where I had like some other non-art posts, and then I just went back and like cleaned it all up, so it's just all art now.
Yeah. 26,000 followers. I'm almost there. Yeah. God, 98 posts and 26,000 followers. I am a bad artist.
I know. I'm like, if I could get to 200, like that's my next. Like, I think I'm at like 160 or something. I was like, if I get to 200, I'm fucking kicking ass.
I'm at. Let me look at here. Okay, I got 670 followers and 352 posts. Oh boy, man, yeah. Follow them and then we'll figure out. I mean, obviously, well, their art speaks for itself. So that's really what's boosting that one there. Yeah.
And thank you to everybody that did portraits of Mike and Sarah, because I know that I contact everybody at the last second, basically. But thank you everybody for doing that.
Yeah, that's seriously really amazing. I'm like, I felt bad because I couldn't talk half the episode because I was just kind of in awe and just like completely smitten with the community as we were going through those. Well, I mean, goddamn. That was like so cool. You guys are you guys make art a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable. Because I gotta say, man, because the art world without our community here is a dark, terrible place that we should all run and hide. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is what it's all about. All right, everybody. Let's see. I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
No. I think that's it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Sarah better be feeling better. And she should really take this quick opportunity to try to get that friend sick. Like, while you're still sick, see if you can get them re-sick and then feel better. And then we'll be here next week. Thank you guys again so much for the artwork. That was absolutely mind-blowing and left me speechless through half the episode. So if there's a lot of awkward silence, it's all your fault because I love you guys so much. Just wanted to say that. See what you made me do. And
Meaty's trying to draw you into a Banksy rant at the last second.
What?
Meaty's trying to draw you into a Banksy rant at the last second.
I'll save my Banksy rants for next week. We're wrapping up to a conclusion here. We don't need to go into Banksy rant mode now.
So we actually have a decent length podcast this time. It's not 15 hours. So.
Yeah. We're actually on schedule. And man, I have so much more work to do on this dog drawing. This is gonna take forever, but I got to admit I'm enjoying it. It's a blessing when you get to stare at cute dogs while making art. So it's all, I'm kind of excited about it. All right, everybody. I'll catch you later.
Bye.
See you guys.